He's back.
Woo!
Baba is back.
Yeah, playing some blackjack.
You were playing blackjack?
I mean, I got inspired. Not really. I wish. That movie should have inspired me.
How was 21, buddy?
You know, I didn't hate it as much as I hated it in here.
Yeah. Oh, having it broken down to you?
Yeah. Oh my God, it sucked in here. It was mildly entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, I'd watch this on Netflix randomly one day if I had nothing better to do.
Yeah, that's what the kind of movie it is.
Yeah. You know what it's like though, because we brought it up a bunch, and it was very true watching it. It's missing a lead character.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just missing a leading man.
Yeah.
Like you can get through a movie like that if the leading man is charismatic, because then all like the weird plot things that like don't make sense, you can overlook them.
Yeah, James Franco's in this movie. It's Xander really good.
James Franco, 2007. James Franco would have been perfect for this movie.
Xander, like a really good movie.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, that was entertaining, and we had this guy, but like this guy was just, he was whiny the entire time.
He's also a bad actor.
Yeah, he had the weakest Boston accent I've ever seen.
Winner. Chicken dinner.
Yeah, way to pick the lamest thing too. It's because like winner chicken dinner doesn't come off naturally.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's like, who says that?
Yeah.
You say that? You really say that when you win? You say it like that? That's how you say it?
Yeah, like all
loser.
cool. Yeah, you put on sunglasses.
Yeah, to say that line.
Winner, chicken dinner. And that's how smooth it was. How I took my glasses off, that's how smooth the movie was.
How you would have did, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been like, oh man, is this dude wearing headphones and a hat? Why is it so... God.
It was bad.
It was like, because it's like, it was like if I were to watch Jurassic World, which in writing wise was pretty much in the same level of movie this is, but instead of Chris Pratt, it was this guy. That's what it was like.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jurassic World starring this dude
would have been a boring movie. Would have been, because then you would have sat down and broken down the plot points that made no sense. Because you would have been like, oh, the T-Rex wouldn't save him. T-Rex has a lizard brain. It doesn't remember anybody.
Yeah.
Would have just eaten them.
But with Chris Pratt, you're like,
oh yeah, save Chris Pratt, T-Rex.
He's charismatic.
Yeah.
He's so much charisma.
Yeah. He's fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, you root for him.
Yeah, but
you never rooted for that. I never rooted for this
No.
guy. I never rooted for him.
And his breakdown made no sense.
Josh Gad's there.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Josh Gad, why did you get to take this role?
Well, this is 2007. Josh Gad wasn't Josh Gad yet.
Right. It wasn't Frozen Josh Gad.
No, or Book of Mormon Josh Gad. Not even that.
That was
his big break.
I thought he already did that.
I'm pretty sure Book of Mormon was after this. 2007 is a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like with the problem with having a shitty lead like that is then you really break down the plot. And it's like, oh, this is stupid. What? So the entire point, right, is that they're supposed to be like this team that doesn't know each other.
Yeah.
When they walk in, right?
Yes.
To the tables. First of all, the only person they ever put a disguise on is Kate Bosworth. They're the only person ever in disguise the
white
whole
woman?
movie. Yeah, the white woman. So you only like the Asian people look exactly the same. They got an Asian guy with spiky hair, which fucking stands out.
And he's dressed like a fucking Fast and Furious guy.
Yeah, he's dressed like a really cool look at me type guy. Right? The Asian girl is always in like a dress of some sort. Looks the same. And then
always plays this like mousy.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Oh, I
don't know anything. Hey. I'm an Asian lady.
Yeah. Also, the reason they found out is that the reason why Lawrence Fishburne finds them out is that the Asian lady keeps looking at the main character, whose name I already forgot. The Asian lady keeps looking at the main character, and Lawrence Fishburne's like, that's suspicious. It's like, if you're working as a team, just don't look at each other.
Yeah, well, yeah.
At all. And then
they were bad.
Yeah, they were a bad team. And they also played at the same tables. Like someone would have fucking noticed. You don't need biometrics to figure out, wow, this lame white dude with a weak Boston accent always plays with this Asian girl in a dress. Always. And they always pretend not to know each other.
And they always come back in like a little bit of a different disguise.
Yeah. And they also know everyone at the hotel too.
Yeah, and they're not like method actors. Yeah, it's like I would remember you.
Yeah, well, they're saying hi, like when they start becoming like high rollers, they start saying hi to the valets. They start, they take these characters on, and it's like, so everyone knows who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, every time they walk into a casino, they walk in together and in formation.
They do walk in like a flying V.
Right? Yeah. They walk in like, oh, it's happening now. Like, anyone, like, not even a security guy, just a regular tourist would be like, oh, they're up to something. You don't walk in formation unless you're up to something.
That's true.
No one walks in formation and is like, okay, what are we going to do?
It's walking the shape of a perfect checkpoint.
Yeah.
And for no reason though.
For no reason. And then they are all in the same hotel room for whatever the fuck reason.
It's like if you guys aren't together, so you walk in together, then you go to the floor and you're not together, but you got one hotel room that's all together.
Right.
And you all walk. They have cameras.
Yeah. Oh man, Kevin Spacey though.
Great actor.
Great villain. I can't think of any villain better than Kevin Spacey.
He's so good all the time. Yeah, consistently.
Consistently a great villain.
A great villain.
He's never a good guy.
Yeah, I've seen him play a good guy.
Where is he a good guy? Really think. 'Cause, I haven't seen all his movies, obviously, but really think. In the movies I've seen, he's not been a good guy. The closest is Usual Suspects, and he's only pretending to be a good guy.
It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, but eventually he's spoiler alert. He's like the worst guy.
The Negotiator.
Okay, I've never seen that.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's really good. Him and Samuel Jackson.
I guess Men Who Stare at Goats. He's not a bad guy. Technically,
Not a bad. He's
just yeah.
You know, I don't know. I remember
that was a weird movie.
Yeah, it was a really weird.
That was a weird. I don't think anyone was a good guy. I think we were the bad guys in that movie for watching it.
I mean, American Beauty.
I've never seen it.
Oh damn, that's the movie too. People are gonna be like, "Oh!" Right now, people if they,
well, that's what he won the Oscar for, right?
Oh, that's the one, baby.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, great. Couple things.
Anything I missed?
How ridiculous was? Yeah, you missed how ridiculous. Couple things. You missed how ridiculous Kevin Spacey's outfit was at the end of it.
The cowboy outfit.
He was a fucking cowboy.
You know what's funny? It was so ridiculous, but it was ridiculous to the point that it was like, I've seen people that look exactly like that.
Well, it was. You know what's funny? I watched that. I was like, I think only Kevin Spacey can pull this off. You have
regular humans, because I've seen that guy at Vegas.
Yeah, you have
to be.
You have to have that level of talent or be that unaware.
That you would dress like that.
You would dress like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool. You didn't really quite mention how bullshit biometrics really is.
They never explained what it was. Did they? You watched it? Did they ever go, all right, let's break down what we mean?
Why this puts humans out of business?
No, they just said, let's put two words together that sound cool.
That sound big. And then people will be like, oh, biometrics. Those biology and metrics, those are too scary for me to understand. That's exactly what happened. Because I bought it up first. And then at the end, when he's coming up with the plan to like catch Kevin Spacey or whatever, and that the twist, where he goes, biometrics will put us out of business. That's when I went, wait, how? How? Can they really like catch people, be like, oh, he's cheating just based on how his face works? That doesn't seem right.
Have you seen Ocean's 13?
I have seen Ocean's 13.
Maybe it's like that, the Greco.
Yeah, where they kind of like, they
read your pupils and shit and dilate. That's me guessing. Only because I just watched Ocean's 13 yesterday.
Yeah, but Ocean's 13, they also simulate an earthquake. So I don't know how how scientific that movie really is.
Al Pacino takes down a machine with a phone.
Yeah.
You're right. I forgot. A lot of things happen.
They shake an entire building.
God, look how much better. Just talking about Ocean's 13 is better than 21.
Right.
21, step your goddamn game up.
Yeah, you should have been way better than that.
You should have been.
You should have been way better than what I thought.
You got Lawrence Fishburne and Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
And you fucked up?
Well, none of the actual people in the team besides Spacey were interesting.
Yeah, they were all bad.
They were all whatever.
Even the lead, he was awful. The girl was whatever.
The girl was whatever. The lead was, the romance made zero sense.
Two Asians.
Yeah, the two Asians were there just to be like, hey, we know the actual team that this is based on.
I know, it's like instead of just making it an Asian film.
Yeah.
They should just let Tarantino make it.
Yeah.
It's all Asian.
Oh my God, can you imagine 21 with a fucking anime scene in the middle of it?
Not her father's rape or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the fuck happened. God, yeah. But, at least it wasn't like an hour and a half in. I was like, oh my God, how much longer? At least it was like, okay, this is a movie you can get.
Yeah, you get. I told there's cool moments like when they're counting the cards.
When they're counting the cards,
there are cool enough moments.
They also don't really explain counting cards, which is like you watch The Big Short, right? A part of the reason why The Big Short was so fun was a lot of it was over my head, but a lot of it was like, oh, you're breaking down what's.
They were trying to break it down the best they could.
So it's like, so they'd be like, look, the count's plus 17. Okay, and then they're like, wait, what does that mean? Do you hit? Do you stay? What's happening? That's the whole point of this. The whole point of this is to make me feel like, it should have been to make me feel like I could count cards.
Yeah.
But in the end, I was like, oh, this is just...
This is just a movie that just kind of got thrown together.
I mean, maybe not that. Maybe just, I don't know.
Missed the mark?
Yeah, they definitely missed the mark. It should have been way cooler. It should have been way cooler than it was.
Yeah. They had a good storyline.
Well, they busted. That's what I'll say. They busted. But not by a lot. They hit a 22.
Shut up.
They just busted.
Yeah.
They just busted.
Oh, God.
God, that's 21, everybody.
We rolling.
Are we?
We rolling.
Oh, shit.
What up, Barry? Bruh.
What up, dude?
Bruh.
What are we watching tonight? What am I watching today?
Ehsan,
Yes.
what happens in the film
Oh, God. You're so somber.
$1 Million Baby?
Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. All I know is the end is that she falls on some kind of stool. That's all I know. And then, because everyone parodies that. There was like an SNL sketch where people kept falling on stools. So I know that she falls on a stool and she like breaks her neck. And that's $1 million. Now, let's see. So Hillary Swank and Morgan Freeman are in this movie. And it starts with Hillary, not knowing what to do with her life, and maybe her dad dies, and her dad is a boxer, and she never got her approval from her dad. So she was like, well, I'm going to fight. And nobody believes in her except for Morgan Freeman, and with his, with his training and his nice voice, he guides her into becoming a pretty dope boxer. She works her way up. Maybe she's got like other family that are like, you shouldn't do this. Maybe she's with her boyfriend at the beginning of the film, and then over the course of time, in an effort to become a great fighter, she loses her boyfriend, and she has to deal with that, but she keeps going, she keeps trucking. And
I think that song's in there. Keep on trucking, baby.
Yeah.
Keep on trucking.
At one point she beats her rival, at the very end, she beats her rival. She has like a rival. There's probably like a bunch of boxing matches in there, and there's one girl she just can't beat.
Yeah.
And then she finally, at the end, gets to beat her, and then she falls on the stool somehow. Maybe she gets sucker punched. Maybe in the celebration, she falls on the stool. And she falls on the stool, breaks her neck. And I do know Morgan Freeman pulls the plug. I think I know that. I think I remember my mom telling me something like that. And that's $1 Million Baby.
Completely accurate. You nailed it. The first time you've ever gotten it completely right.
Oh, man.
I'm not kidding.
Wait, did I really get that right?
Shut no. Why would that happen? How would you ever? How would that happen?
Oh, man. I had hope for a second. I had hope.
You tried.
I did try. Didn't Clint Eastwood direct this? I think I remember a lot around it. But I don't know why I didn't watch it. My parents actually got, they rented the movie once and they're like, we should watch it. And then I went to bed. I didn't watch it with them, but they did. Mm-hmm. And that's how I know she falls on the stool.
Yeah, because they told you.
Yeah. And then and I think like maybe not SNL, because I never watched SNL, but there's a certain skit. Maybe it's in Family Guy, one of those cutaways where they have Hillary Swank fall on the stool and then like people come and try to help her and they keep falling on stools.
Interesting.
Sounds like Family Guy. Now that I say it out loud, it sounds like Family Guy.
Yeah.
So that's like pretty iconic.
Oh, it's an iconic movie. I figured you would have known something about it.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm not.
Your guesses always surprise me, buddy.
Yeah.
You never don't surprise me.
It's tough to write a movie that already happened.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I've noticed.
Hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's not an easy task.
Yet Hollywood continues to do it.
Oh man, you know what? Hollywood should take my ideas. Obviously, they should just listen to the first part of each of these podcasts and remake the movies based on my ideas.
They already do.
Yeah, because the Set It Off remake would be amazing.
Yeah, it would.
All right, what happens in this movie?
We start with either a banjo or a guitar. I don't know. But this is the theme sound of the music of the whole movie. You're gonna hear this sound the entire movie, and it's just like.
It sounds like a banjo.
It's like that, but it could have been a guitar. But they use that, but it's slow. It's real slow.
Yeah.
Just like that. Real slow, right? And the credits kind of roll, and it keeps playing, and then you hear a crowd kind of roar like, $1 Million Baby.
Ooh. Right. So we starting to fight.
We start with a big fight.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's the black guy who plays Luke Cage.
Oh, okay.
He's fighting, right?
He's with indestructible skin. That's not fair.
Yeah, they didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
So he's boxing, right? And Clint Eastwood is his cut man.
Okay.
Clint
He's
Eastwood is the
actually
star
in
of
the
this
movie
movie.
too. Oh,
He's the star of this movie.
Did I say Morgan Freeman?
You did say Morgan Freeman.
Fuck, it was Clint Eastwood then.
It's
Wasn't
okay, buddy.
Oh god, I thought it was Morgan Freeman. I knew it was some famous old guy that was in this movie
With a good voice.
with a good voice. Yeah, Clint Eastwood wins an Oscar for this. That's I saw
a lot of Oscars were won for this.
Yeah, I saw the Oscar speech that Clint Eastwood gave, but for some reason I made it Morgan Freeman. I think I really just wanted him to be in this.
Yeah,
movie.
it's okay. So Clint Eastwood is his cut man, right?
Okay.
And a voiceover starts, and it's Morgan Freeman.
God damn it. Okay, I wasn't wrong. All right.
A lot of stars in this movie. It's a really studded cast.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you believe that.
All right.
It's fun for me.
Well, you just led me down the plank there, or whatever the fuck.
Well, yeah, I like you not knowing what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So, voiceover starts. Only man I ever met I wouldn't want to fight. Ever met one man I wouldn't want to fight. That's what you hear the first words of the movie, right? But you still see this black guy and this other dude boxing, okay?
Right.
The Luke Cage guy. And he said, when I met him, he was already the best cut man in the business. And he still hasn't lost a skip, okay? The dude goes to the corner, the Luke Cage guy, and Clint Eastwood comes in and he's bandaging him up. And he's like, you got to stop the bleeding. You got to stop the bleeding. And then he's like, what do you want me to do? And then Clint Eastwood goes, let him hit you. And he's like, what? He's like, let him hit you. And then he goes back out, and then Morgan Freeman keeps like the voiceover going, and he goes, sometimes there's nothing you could do. He's like, sometimes as a boxer, there's nothing you can do. You just gotta listen.
Can you do the Morgan Freeman voice?
The Morgan Freeman voice. I have to do so many voices at this point. I'm trying to like.
Oh, you're trying to.
I'm trying to get it started.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's like, bro, we're gonna get to the Morgan Freeman voice.
Okay.
I gotta just set this movie. I gotta just set it up.
Oh, it's a little treat for me. I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. But let me just set up all the characters. Trust me, they're not going anywhere.
Okay.
So let me just set them all up first.
All right.
I know what you want.
All right.
I know exactly what you want. But I'm like, I gotta just set up everything. It's a lot. It's very dense.
Okay.
This movie's very dense.
Okay.
So he's explaining, like, as he's saying, there's nothing you can do as a boxer. But listen, as Morgan Freeman's like doing this voiceover, explaining like what he's talking, like that a boxer has to listen to his cut man. It shows the Luke Cage guy just like let himself get hit in like slow mo, and then it zooms in on his eye, and his eye swells up, and it stops the bleeding. And it's just like, it shows just like how genius he is, and like it shows Clint Eastwood watching from the corner, and he keeps the voiceover going, and then the Willie dude knocks him out. That's his name, Willie, the big black guy.
Right.
Bow, knocks him out, right? Crowd goes crazy. And then Morgan Freeman goes, people love violence. You know? People love violence. We'll stop at a car wreck just to get a glimpse. You know? That's what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
And so that happens, right? Okay. And then the fight ends. And then as you see Clint Eastwood, like the next scene is him coming out of a hallway, like carrying a bag, like heading outside.
Right.
And we meet Hillary Swank.
Ooh, Swank.
Maggie.
Okay, Maggie.
And she's dressed all kind of, she got gym clothes on. And she looks kind of tattered a little bit. And she's like, Mr. Dunn. And he goes, I owe you money. She goes, no, sir. He goes, I know your mama. She goes, no, well, I don't think so, sir. And then he goes, what do you want? And she goes, I fought earlier. Did you see it? And he goes, oh, that's good. She's like, did you watch? He goes, no, I didn't watch. And then she's like, oh, okay, well, I was wondering if you think about training me. And he goes, I don't train girls. And then she was like, well, for a girl, I'm pretty tough. And he goes, girly, tough, ain't enough. And he walks up. I always love that line because I never know how he meant that sentence.
Yeah, that's really weird.
I didn't know if he meant girly
comma,
tough ain't enough, or literally girly tough ain't enough. I never know. Good job, buddy. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that I don't know.
Yeah, keep it up in the air.
Yeah.
Keep us guessing.
So, he's girly tough ain't enough, And he walks off on her. And then he goes and he meets Big Willie at the car, right? And they're talking about how he has a shot for the title, right? Willie was like, I think I got a shot for the title. And then Frankie goes, yeah, but I turned it down. That's the Clint Eastwood character. He's like, I turned it down. And then he's like, he's like, how come you turned it down, Frankie? He's like, you're not ready. 2 or 3 more fights, you'll be ready for the title. That's 2 or 3 more fights, you'll be ready. And he goes, all right, been 2 or 3 more fights for a while now, Frankie. And then he goes, it's like, you only get one shot. You don't want to blow it up, blah, blah, blah. You trust me. You got to trust me. 2 or 3 more fights. And he's like, okay, Frankie, whatever you say.
Right.
Just listen to him, okay?
Well, he knows what he's doing, clearly.
Knows what he's doing. He's a legendary cut man, okay? Next scene, he's leaving church. It shows him leaving. It shows Clint Eastwood. He's leaving church, and he stops the father. He's like, "Father, that was a great sermon. Made me weep." You know, he's talking like that.
Just still intensely.
Yeah, just very. Everything's intense.
Everything
bro.
is intense. I don't think Clint Eastwood can do anything calm.
The pastor just immediately gets like annoyed. He's like, "What's your question this week?" And he goes, "Oh, same old bullshit. You know, Father, God, Holy Ghost. What's it all mean?" You know what I mean? He's like, and he's like, just like, and he's just badgering him, right? And the priest is answering him, and then he just keeps like asking all these kind of crazy questions. And then he's like, "Oh, but what's a demigod?" He's like, "There's no such thing as demigods, you fucking pagan." And then he's like looking at him. Clint Eastwood's kind of like smiling, like glad that he got him to that point.
Yeah, like he's just trying to break him.
Just trying to fuck him, you know. And then he goes, "You write your daughter?" And then Clint Eastwood's like, "Every week." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Don't lie to me." He was like, don't come to mass tomorrow. Take a day off. Because he comes to mass. He's like, come to mass every day. You know, he's one of those. After that, we go to Frankie's gym. He has a gym, right? The Hit Pit or something like that. I think it's called the Hit Pit. And he goes, the voiceover comes back and it's Morgan Freeman. He goes, "Only ever met one person who was all heart." You know? He said, and then it cuts to a guy and he goes, "My name is Danger and I'm from Howard, Texas." And it's Jay Baruchel. You know, the nigga from How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the really skinny guy?
Yeah.
Really?
So he plays
what the fuck?
Clearly kind of retarded person.
Okay.
He's not kind of retarded.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's in this.
What?
Star-studded movie, bro.
I haven't seen him outside a comedy movie ever.
Oh yeah, and he kills this role.
He kills it. He's a good good radio type.
Very kills it. So
all right.
Yeah, and then the voiceover comes back and Morgan Freeman explains how his stepdad is from Texas, how he's from Texas, and his stepdad like drove all the way out here, dropped him off, and then just drove back to Texas.
Okay.
Because he just didn't want to deal with, you know what I mean? Just because he was a little retarded person. Or whatever,
and he just dropped him off at a boxing gym?
And he found his way into the gym.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so he's doing that speech, and then as he's doing that, Danger walks up to Morgan Freeman and he's like, "I got nothing against niggers." And then Morgan Freeman goes, good for you, Danger. Good for you, buddy." And he goes, "Thanks a lot. You know, a lot of people where I'm from, they hate niggers, you know, but not me. You know, I got nothing against you." And he's like, "Okay, anything else I can do for you, Danger?" He's like, "Just one of those, you know." And then it goes back to voiceover. He's like, "Just one of those things you say." And he goes, "Well, Mr. Scrap," because that's Morgan Freeman's name is like Mr. Scrap. He calls him Scrap.
Okay.
You know,
what does Morgan Freeman do?
He's running the gym. He like does all the grunt work at the gym.
Okay, he's like the paperwork and the...
No.
No.
The janitor kind of work.
Oh, okay.
And
okay, he's the magical black janitor.
Kind of, pretty much you can put him in that scenario. For this movie, kind of. Not, yeah.
Okay.
Not that, but he's also like trained. He's everything kind of guy. He's just the everything guy for the gym.
Okay.
You know, it's not like they have a staff. It's not the kind of gym where you walk in as a person at the front desk.
Well, yeah, they just let Jay Baruchel walk in.
Yeah, and they just let him. They just keep him there now.
Then they weren't like, "You're in the wrong genre." Like they let him in.
They just that was pretty good.
Come on,
that was pretty good. He's very proud of him and stuff. And he goes, "Anything else I can do for you?" He was like, "Yes." Well, honestly, Mr. Scrap, I'd like to be the welterweight champion of the world. And I, Danger, challenge Tommy the Hitman Hearns, the Motor City Cobra, to fight me for the welterweight championship of the world. And then a guy goes, "Shut up, Flip. You ain't even ranked." And it's a big black guy, and it's fucking Falcon from Avengers, Anthony Mackie.
Oh, he's in this?
Yep.
Jeez.
And he's with his trainer, Michael Pena.
What the fuck?
Yeah. This cast is nuts,
so
bro.
we have 2 Avengers in here.
2 Avengers.
Yeah, 2 Avengers.
There's 2 Avengers.
Man, the MCU is crazy.
Killing it, dog.
Yeah, I know.
So they keep like, and while those 2 guys, they're talking shit to Danger. They're just talking shit. Clearly being really mean too.
Yeah.
Like just unnecessary.
You know how you're supposed to be.
Yeah, well, you know how
to
we're
mentally
supposed to
challenge kids. You're supposed to be very mean to them.
Retarded people.
I'm sorry.
So he goes, Clint Eastwood looks at Morgan. He's like, he tells him, he's like, "I thought I told you I didn't want him here anymore." And he's like, "He ain't bothering nobody. Just, leave him alone." And he's like, "Why'd you keep buying this expensive bleach?" Because he's like cleaning up. And he's like, "I like the way it smells." He's like, "Bleach smells like bleach. Stop paying for expensive bleach." He's like, "You don't know shit, right?" They're just kind of like going back and forth like old men, and Willie walks in.
Luke Cage.
The Luke Cage walks in, and Morgan Freeman notices that he doesn't talk to. There's managers in the room while looking at other boxers.
Okay.
And Willie walks in. He speaks to everybody, but he doesn't talk to a certain one. And he kind of just notices it, right? Mm-hmm. And then he walks into Frankie's office, and Frankie's like reading Gaelic.
Okay.
Like that, like
the language.
Yeah, the language.
Okay.
He's like reading it from a book. Yeah.
Gaelic.
And he comes to him. He's like, "You just thought you should know you got a boxer down there, Willie, who didn't talk to who's not talking to Mickey Mack, the manager. And then Clint Eastwood looks up and he's like, did you come up here to tell me that my fighter didn't talk to another manager? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, what the hell do you want? Like, get the fuck out of my office, right? And then Morgan Freeman's like, okay, like, I told you.
Right.
Don't
say I didn't warn you.
Yeah.
So there's something up.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just telling you, just thought you should know. And then he's like, oh, whatever. So he's like, he keeps trying to read Gaelic, and he goes, and so Morgan Freeman looks out the window, he goes, who's your new girl? And he goes, what? And then he gets up and they look down and they see Schwank, and he's like, Jesus Christ. And she's hitting the bag. And he goes, man, she keeps hitting the bag like that, she's gonna break her wrist. And he goes, God damn it. He throws his shit down and he goes out to her and he goes, stop wasting your time. I said I don't train girls.
Well, real quick question before we go on. So he's like, is he reading Gaelic out loud? Like, how do you know he's reading? What does that sound like?
Akulak mehulaka. Like that. But it's from Clint Eastwood, so like Hakhun Klakhundak. Yeah, like Asian almost. How angry he talks, bro.
Okay, that's all I needed. Can you? Oh, we're back. So Hillary's hitting the bag.
Hillary's hitting the bag. He goes like, stop wasting your time. I don't train girls. Yeah. Okay. And she's like, he goes, there's 12 other trainers here who train girls. Go talk to one of them. And she goes, I don't need 12, boss. You'll do just fine. And then he goes, don't call me boss. And I'm not training you, right? And
so she's very likable.
Oh God, she's lovable.
Okay.
Immediately lovable. All right.
You know
what I'm saying? But they haven't really focused on her just yet. Okay. But she's in the. They're just kind of letting you know that she's in this.
Yeah, okay.
So he walks off to go train with Willie, and then she goes, if I stop calling you boss, will you train me then? And he kind of just looks back at her and then keeps walking. And then she goes, well, I'll be here if you change your mind. She keeps punching the bag. She's just hitting that motherfucking bag, okay?
Does she look good when she's in the bag?
Oh, no, she's bad. She's bad. You can tell she's awful. Okay. She's an awful boxer. Right.
All right, she just wants to do it.
Still looks kind of garbagey. And then the Morgan Freeman voiceover comes over, right? Like her clothes white. You know what I'm saying? She's just like, and he goes, she grew up outside of Podunk, Missouri. And she grew up only knowing one thing. She was trash. And then it shows her like at a diner, like at her job. No, at a job. Like this is where she works. And she's like cleaning up food off her plate, and then she looks and then she puts like food in her thing, like to take home. And then like somebody sees her and she goes, it's from a dog.
Yeah.
And then next scene, of course, is her just like at the back, just eating that shit. You know what I mean? Because she's just trying to, and then she's saving every single penny she can for boxing. So it shows her like in the back, like she's eating and she's counting all her pennies. You know what I'm saying? And then she's the next day she's working the bag. She's hitting the bag, and then she like Clint Eastwood walks by and she goes, "Working the bag, boss." And then he goes, "Not your boss, and that bag's working you." And then she like looks at him and she just keeps punching like angry, right? And then he goes into the office and he looks at Morgan Freeman. He's like, "Give her her money back." And he's like, "You sure?" And he's like, "Well, how much did she pay for?" He's like, "She paid 6 months." He goes, "But I'll give it back." And he goes, God damn it, don't give her her money back. Don't be a smart ass. He goes, who paid 6 months of dues already? Like, you know what I mean? Because apparently like nobody ever pays, right?
Yeah, you go month to month.
Yeah, and he goes, oh, God.
Where does this take place?
Huh?
Where does this take place?
I don't know.
Huh.
That's a great question. I've never watched a movie, and it's never even, the movie's so good, it's never occurred to me to like, where is this?
That's so funny.
I'm so lost in everything else that's going on every time.
That's so, because in my mind it's happening in Philadelphia, but that's just because
it's not Philly. Okay. It may be Jersey.
Okay, but it's definitely East Coast. Well, your accent says that.
I'm saying East Coast, but bro, that maybe it shouldn't be in the. It could be in the South, bro.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's how much it's like. I honestly don't know.
Okay,
I'm saying Jersey. That shit could be Kentucky.
All right, so we have no idea where this is.
Yeah,
but she's hitting the bag.
It's in a small city for sure. It's in a maybe a Pittsburgh kind of city. You know what I mean? It looks like that at least.
All right,
the vibe. Detroit, maybe.
All right, I got a lot of factories.
Maybe Detroit.
Okay, I'll go with Pittsburgh.
Go with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, okay.
Or Jersey. I'm going to go with Jersey. You go with Pittsburgh, I'm going to go with Jersey.
All right, well, yeah. Go Penguins. All right.
Go Nets. Nets? I don't know. Old Nets.
Brooklyn, yeah.
I know. Old Nets. I like the old Nets.
All right, that's fair. They went to championships. Anyways.
Jason Kidd. We know stuff. Mm-hmm. Other than movies, guys.
Well, I don't know movies. He does.
That's true. So he's like, well, all right, well, don't give her money back, but don't encourage her. That's what he tells her. He's like, don't encourage her. And he's like, Morgan Freeman's like, all right, I won't. And then he goes, and what the hell's Danger looking at? And then it shows Danger, and he's like looking at a bottle of water, right? He's just staring at it, just fucking like confused as fuck. Just,
yeah,
you know what I mean? For a long, like they just show it for a while too, like, and he's just fucking looking at it, right?
Trying to figure it out.
And then they go, he goes, Clint Eastwood goes, does he pay his dues? And then Morgan Freeman goes, his dues? the boy can't afford pants. You want him to pay dues? Get the hell out of my office. He's just always mad.
Yeah, he's just always,
I love that about him. Just everything.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood's always mad.
Every movie.
Yeah.
Every movie.
Every political convention. He's just angry.
Angry as fuck.
Angry
every
dude.
political convention. Yeah. So Morgan Freeman's trying to go to sleep, right? He lives in the gym.
Yeah.
So he's got like a little room and nook and cranny like in the corner. And he's about to go to sleep and then he hears someone working the bag. And he's like, what the fuck? Because all the lights are down. And he goes out and it's Hillary.
Yeah.
And she's fucking hitting that bag, man. And he's watching her and then he kind of feels bad for a minute. And then he goes up and he's like, can I show you something? And she's like, oh, please, I'll take, any help I can get. And he goes, all right, well, you got to treat the bag like a person. You got to move with it. And he gets the gloves from her and he's like, pushes the bag and he's like, you see, you got to lean with it. You got to keep your chin tucked, right? And always stay ready for a power shot. And he's just giving her all this advice, right? And she's just soaking it up, like so thankful. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God,
finally.
thank you. Oh my God. And she's just trying to figure it out. And he's just trying to listen to everything he says. And it's kind of a cool moment between them. Like, oh, okay. And he's just teaching her all these different things. And he goes, he's like, the moment you get this down, we'll get you on the speed bag. And then she goes, okay. And he goes, you have a speed bag, right? And she kind of like looks off shyly and he's like, oh, and he feels bad. And then he goes and he reaches up on the top and he pulls out an old box and pulls out a really old speed bag. And he gives it to her and she says, I only borrow it until I can buy my own. And he goes, okay. Like, oh, all right, sure. And then she's like, so where do you, because she's like, oh, you mind if I walk you out? And he's like, oh, I already live here. She's like, oh, where do you live? And then he shows her where he lives. And then she's like, oh my God, I love it. You get to just be here and you can tell she just loves boxing. She's like, oh my God, this is great that you can just, wow. And he goes, yeah, I'm glad you like it so much, whoop, whoop. And she goes, and then the slow piano starts playing that, right? Mm-hmm. You just hear it start creeping up. And then she goes, would it bother you if I worked a little longer? And he kind of looks at her and smiles. Just gets you, bro.
Yeah. Just,
right in the heart.
Hit that. I was like, ooh, that made me happy.
Yeah. And then he goes, yeah, just close the door when you leave. She goes, oh, thank you. And then he goes, he just keeps playing. And then it just shows her punching away all night, right? And then it shows him in the back of the corner just watching. Just kind of like, and smiling too, like, okay. Because everything he said she's doing now. She's trying to like do everything. She's like stopping herself and like making sure, and then she's like, and then he's watching her for a while and then it goes, toughness, He talks about, and then it goes back into him of a voiceover and he's like, the magic of a boxer is toughness, and it's the magic. That's what makes a boxer so special. He's like, it's the magic of risking everything for a dream that no one can see but you. God
damn.
You know what I'm saying?
What a
bro?
line.
And then she shows her all the way until the AM, and then she rides the bus home. And then she's like so happy on the bus ride home. Yeah. She's just like, you can tell she's just like,
I did it.
I'm trying. I'm doing it, She's older too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day, she's walking in, Clint Eastwood, she's walking back into the gym. Clint Eastwood's already training with Big Willie in the ring. So he's got him in the ring working, right? And she comes in, and the Anthony Mackie dude starts talking shit, right? It's to her. He goes, "Hey, Flip."
So he's a dick.
He's a dick. He's an asshole.
Okay.
He goes, "Hey, Flip." He's talking to Danger. He goes, "Found somebody I think you can beat. You know what I'm saying? I bet you can beat her." And then he goes, "I don't fight women." Right? And he goes, "Oh," and then the Michael Pena goes, "No, you can fight to him, and then you can kiss to him, huh? You fight, you kiss, you fight, then you kiss, huh?" I swear to God, Ehsan, that's exactly what he says. You're going to watch him and be like, damn, Deric was right.
That's what he sounds like?
That's exactly what he sounds like.
That's very funny.
You fight to him and you kiss to him. Great actor.
Yeah, he's dope. I love Michael Pena.
He's great. He's really great. And so they're talking shit, and he goes, "Oh man, I didn't even notice it was a girl." That's what Anthony Mackie goes, like, "I didn't even notice it was a girl. Oh man, look at her little bitty titties. Oh, she's got little mosquito bite titties." He's pointing at him, and he gets up on her. He's like, "That wouldn't even be a mouthful." And does like that to her, right?
Jesus.
And then she's just punching the bag, not even paying attention, right? Not face, punching the bag. And then she goes, "I saw your last fight, Sharrell. Look, you spent so much time on face down on the cameras. I thought the floor had titties." And in the crowd, the whole gym, like everybody, like, even like the Michael Pena dude, like busts out laughing, like, oh. And then the Danger guy goes, "Hey, look, everybody, I'm Sharrell." And then he falls on the ground really hard, and he starts licking the floor. He's like, "I'm humping the ground like his titties," like that. And then like even Clint Eastwood like turns around, and he like starts laughing, like, you know what I mean?
Good.
And then the Sharrell guy, he's just like, "Man, shut up, everybody," and he's like punching the bag. He's like, I'll fuck you up, Flip. Remember that. I can kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like clearly just mad, right?
Yeah, you deserved it, Anthony.
Hillary Swank done it, hitting the bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still not that good. Still trying to figure it out, but hitting that bag. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody so Scrap tells the next scene, Scrap is Morgan Freeman. He's telling Frankie he needs to pay attention to Willie. You need to pay attention to your fighter, Willie. He's like, because I think you're losing him.
Really? Oh, because he's not letting him.
I think he's like, I think you're losing. You're becoming distant. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's telling him that in the office, and he's like, and Frankie doesn't want to hear it. He's like, don't you have work to do? And he's like, yeah. And he looks at him, and Morgan Freeman goes, you know, your girl's coming along. And he's like, yeah, I see she has my speed bag. And then Morgan Freeman looks at the window and he goes, how the hell did she get that? Like that, you know?
Yeah.
And he looks at him, and then he goes right out to her, and he goes, hey, give me my bag. Just like that. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Dunn. I thought it was okay. And he's like, I can't have people thinking I train you. You know, I don't want people thinking that. And then she's like, okay, I just working on it. She's like, but to tell you the truth, I couldn't even figure it out anyway. You know, she's like, I'm trying to just get it. I can't think you can help me. And he goes, look, you seem like a nice girl. You mind if I give you advice? She's like, yeah, I'll take any advice. He's like, you're too old.
Oof.
Quit. You're too old. You know, it takes a good fighter 4 years to train. An average, it takes a person 4 years to become a decent fighter. You know, you're already, how old are you? And she's like, I'm 31. He's like, she's like, I'm 31, but I've been at it for 3 years. He's like, and you can't even hit a speed bag? And she's like, well, no. He's like, well, you're wasting your time. What are you doing here? Just quit. This isn't for you. All right, don't go find a decent job and have a life or something. All right.
31 years old.
Yeah, she's already 31.
God.
Trying to be a boxer now.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy to be in your 30s trying to do something physical like that.
Like that? Like to that extreme as well as boxing?
Yeah, well, you're
not even like tennis or some shit.
18, even that, because you're up against like 18-year-olds and like not even.
But nobody's punching you in the face.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Jesus Christ.
That's a good point. It's just any sport picking up at 31 is nuts.
But one where like there is actual damage to your like
body like that.
Not just from working out, but from the sport.
Yeah.
It's physical. You know what I mean? So he's just telling her like, you know, so there's no point in you to be here. He's just he's giving her that speech. Like, just get the fuck out of my gym.
Right.
Stop.
Right.
He's being like really honest. And then he looks at her and she's like, okay. She's like, well, here's your bag. I'm sorry, that you felt that way, Mr. Dunn. And he goes, okay. You're not going to cry now, are you? And she goes, no, sir.
No.
And he goes, okay. Here. And he gives it back to her and he's like, I already have 3 new ones anyway. Just have fun with it, I guess. And he's like, God damn it. And he walks away pissed. Like, fucking hate this bitch.
That's how lovable Hillary Swank is.
So lovable that she softened him up and he got the bag back. She got it back,
Mm-hmm.
So it's next night. It's that night. And Clint Eastwood's at his house and Willie comes over. And Frankie's like, hey, what are you doing here, Willie? And he's like, he's in a suit. And he's like, Frankie, I need to talk with you. He's like, I hate to barge in on you like this. He's like, you're your family, Willie. You can do whatever you want. What are you talking about? Is everything okay? And he's like, I need to talk business. And he's like, oh, good. And he's like, I literally just got off the phone with the people that offered you the title. I turned them down again. He's like, but they're going to offer us 50-50 and we'll have it ready by September. He's like, trust me. And he goes, Frankie, I got to leave you.
Oof.
And he goes, like, what do you mean? And he's like, he's like, listen, I got one shot at the title and I need to make all the money I can make now while I can make it. I can't keep waiting. If I'm going to do this, I need to do it now. And you taught me everything I need to know. You take me this far, but I got to go the rest of the way, Frankie. Level. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, but we're this close. We're almost there. You can tell. And he's like, I'm sorry, Frankie. And he goes, but Mickey Mac, he can't teach you nothing about boxing. What's he going to teach you? And he goes, Frankie, you already taught me everything I need to know. And he walks away.
So he ends up joining the guy who
the Mickey Mac guy, the guy who didn't talk to. The guy Morgan Freeman knew when he saw, like, why didn't he? Because it did make sense when he explained it, like, oh, why didn't he? Because when he walks in, you'll see he speaks to everybody and then he sees him and it's clearly like, you know what I mean? Where you'd be like, oh, there's either tension or there's something going on there.
Planning something or there's tension. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So that's what Morgan Freeman was like, hey, you need to talk to your boy Willie. There's this. He was trying to let him know. Morgan Freeman just saw it before he did because he was too
busy reading Gaelic
and hating Hillary and worried about dumb shit.
Girls. Or
just worried about dumb shit and not focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he he's like, he leaves him and he closes the door and he's just hurt, man. So Morgan Freeman says like as he leaves and he closes the door, Morgan Freeman says, there's some things people just don't want to hear. Right? He says that in the voiceover. And then it cuts back to the ring and it goes, I, Danger, challenge Tommy the Hitman Hearns, the Motor City Cobra to fight me for the welterweight championship of the world. And he's in the ring and he's just swinging that air, right? Yeah. And then Morgan Freeman looks at him, he's like, Danger, are you going to hit me or not? I got these goddamn gloves on for a reason. Like he's got the gloves on like that. Yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Scrap. I'm just thinking about it, Yeah. And then and then as that happened, Clint Eastwood walks by and he's really angry. And he goes, Danger, either throw a punch or get the hell out of my gym. And then Morgan Freeman kind of looks at him like, come on,
come on, what are you doing?
What are you doing? And then so he goes, hey, Danger. He said, I want you to sit here and think about that punch you're gonna throw I want you to sit here and think about that punch you're gonna throw. I'll be right back. He goes, okay, I'll think about it real hard, Mr. Scrap. And he like just keeps like punching the air.
Play fighting.
Yeah, like just play, that's all you ever see him do, just play fight the air, just talk, right?
Yeah.
He's pretty much, you'll see.
It's Jay Bear show.
It's Jay Bear show.
Yeah, I get it. I know you're fighting.
You've seen How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, I know your fighting abilities, bro. You need a dragon.
So he goes back into the office and he's reading Gaelic. He's reading his Gaelic, Aklu Akpa, and he goes, Morgan Freeman goes, heard about Willie. Sorry to hear that, man. That's cold, real cold. And then he goes, yeah, well, at least I have both eyes.
What the fuck is that?
Morgan Freeman, I forgot to tell you, has only one eye.
Oh, so you're gonna shit on him now, Clint? Jesus Christ, man. You gotta get your shit together. This is a redemption story for Clint too, huh? It's one of those.
Yeah. So they argue a little, obviously. They go back and forth a little. And Frankie says, he's like, I was protecting him. And then he was like, you were protecting him from what, the title? And he was like, well, maybe I didn't want him spending the second half of his life cleaning up spit after people half his age, like talking about him.
Right.
And
Jesus.
Yeah, and he's like,
Jesus. Lay off Morgan, man. He's just helping you out. My God.
He said, he's like, well, you just protected yourself out of a championship fight. Know that. How do you say that in Gaelic? And then he walks out, right?
Great line.
And he's like, And then as he walks out, it shows him like storm out. And then it just shows Hillary. And like and she's just hitting that bag. Told you don't see that she's a star of this movie yet because she's just hitting that bag, man. She's just working, getting better, bro. I told you, I love it. She's just hitting the bag, baby.
Very, very Rudy. This is very Rudy.
It's like girl Rudy. Do. So we see him collecting. We see her like collecting tips as that theme slowly kicks in, and she's just counting every penny, bro. Literally just counting every single one. And she's getting up at 5 a.m. and running on the beach. Just shows her doing her sprints with that, And she finally it shows her finally save up enough pennies, and she gets all excited. And then she goes and she buys her own speed bag, and she's all happy about it. You know what I mean?
God, yeah, she's great.
And then
he's great.
Yeah, she's great. Then it's a voiceover back to Morgan Freeman, and he's like, boxing is an unnatural act, And he says, instead of running from the pain like a sane person, you run towards it, And then it shows Clint Eastwood, and he's watching Big Willie fight for the title. He's watching it at home, right? Okay. And he's like watching it like that with him, like like making the punches with him. And then Willie wins, right? And he really wins, and he kind of smiles for him, and then he cuts the TV off.
Right.
Okay. So then later that night, he comes back to the gym, and Morgan Freeman's like, what are you doing here? And he's got a cheeseburger. He's like, I brought you a cheeseburger. He's like, I've never seen you buy anything for anyone a day in your life. And he's like, I was in the neighborhood. I just want to get your cheeseburger. You know what I mean? And you tell he just doesn't want to be alone or whatever,
Yeah, because he fucked up.
Yeah. And he's, Morgan Freeman goes, I see you've been working on yourself. Did you watch the fight? And he's like, yeah, Willie looked good. Willie looked real good. And he's like, did you watch it? And he's like, yeah. He's like, how the hell can you afford HBO? And he was like, I have HBO. He's like, that's what I spend my money on.
Yeah, fuck you.
Like, I live here, so I can just have HBO. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Fuck you, basically.
Yeah.
So they start talking, and they reminisce on old times, and like how he used to fight for him, and when he was his cut man, and they're just talking about that.
He used to train.
He used to be his cut man.
Cut man.
Didn't train him, but he was his cut man. You know? So he wasn't his manager either.
Okay, he was just the cut man.
Just his cut man. So
that's important.
That's important to know.
Yeah.
So he hears something, and he's like, what is that? What the hell is that? What is that?
Oh,
and he goes, it's her birthday. Let her, it's her birthday. And he goes, what? It's like, it's her birthday. I let her stay. He's like, I let her stay later than usual or something like that,
Yeah.
And he goes out and he hears her and he goes, you're not breathing right. That's why you're panting, because it shows her like that. And she's like bent over. And he goes, I heard it's your birthday. She goes, yeah, I turned 32. And she has like an attitude a little bit, right? And she was like, and according to you, I won't be able to throw a decent punch by the time I'm 37, you know? And she's like, and she's like, right now, considering how I'm working this speed bag, and she tries to hit the bag again and she misses. She was like, and I'm not getting anywhere. She's like, maybe I should just quit, you know? She was like, also, my brother's in prison. My sister cheats on her taxes and lies about her kids so she can get more money for welfare. She's like, my daddy's dead and my mama's 350 pounds. And he's looking at her like, shit.
Hey, we finally got our backstory.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
And she was like, and if I was smart, I'd move home, get a trailer, just get some boyfriend and eat Oreos until I'm 500 pounds and just be done with my life. She was like, but.
So this is the South.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where she's from, you know?
Yeah.
She was like, but if I can't do this, I got nothing. And I'm not doing that. You know? She's like, I gotta do this. And she was like, and if you don't want to train me, well, then I'll just go back to Celebrate. And he was like, well, I'll do this. He's like, how about if I help you until we get you another trainer? She's like, no. She's like, either you train me or I'm going to sit here and I'm going to Celebrate all night. And she goes back to like hitting the bag, like really bad. And he goes, stop it. Just stop. God damn it. And he throws his bag down. He's like, all right. If I take you on, she goes, oh my God, you're not going to regret it. He goes, ugh. Now, if I take you on, she goes, oh my God, you're going to be so proud. I worked so hard. He says, God damn it, this is a mistake already. She's like, okay, no. I'm going to listen. He goes, if I take you on, you do everything I say. No back talk. You don't say anything. I tell you, you do it. She goes, yes, sir. Right? And he goes, no crying. I don't care. She's like, if you get hurt, I don't care. No girly shit. She's like, all right, I won't say nothing. He's like, okay. And then
that's so funny. This is great.
Oh yeah.
He unwillingly takes on a protege. This is Gran Torino boxing.
Oh yeah. And but then he goes, now the only way I'll do this though, he's like, I'll train you and I'll get you to the point where you're a great fighter and then you go off and find you another manager and you go make $1 million. Okay? Mm-hmm. He's like, that's what you'll do. You go make $1 million with somebody else. She's like, oh, but. He's like, no buts. I'll train you to get you there. You'll get another manager. You'll go off and do your own thing. And she's like, okay. She reluctantly agrees. Mm-hmm. But she didn't want to do it.
Good deal though.
All right? So he starts training her right then. Right as he starts training her, she immediately disobeys everything. She starts asking him a million questions. She's arguing with everything he says. You know what I mean? Just immediately, right? And then as that's happening, and he's trying to teach her that fades in, and you see them just working all night.
Oh God, I love it. Death is gonna destroy me. Jesus Christ.
No problem. So she's getting better at the bag. Shows her getting better at the bag, and she's constantly working on her footwork, which I thought was really cool. Like, it shows her at work, and like while she's like dropping off food at night, like she's still like doing like her boxing steps, like while she's doing that. And then it shows her like counting her tips, like sitting down, and she's doing her boxing steps like with her feet, like still like just doing all her like things like that. It up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then like as that happens, you hear that it comes in, and you hear the voiceover, and then it goes, you show him, it shows Morgan Freeman, he's like, with a boxer, you got to show him everything. You got to show him how to stand, show him how to keep the legs under him, you know? Yeah. To make a fighter, you got to strip him down to bare wood. Make him nothing.
And then build him back up.
Got to make them so tired, they only listen to you. Only hear your voice, only hear your thoughts. You know, then you gotta just completely. And during all this montage, it shows her becoming a beast. She's getting better at jump rope. She's getting better at the speed bag, dog. She's getting fucking ripped. You know what I'm saying? Like she's doing She's getting like she's getting good. You can see it. So she's getting like
she's a quick learner.
She's getting it, bro. The jump rope, like she's getting all that shit.
Oh, she can do the crisscross.
She's getting like during the and you hear that voiceover, bro, of him just like saying like you gotta strip him to bare wood. You gotta do this. You gotta train. And she's just running on that beach at 5 a.m, dog. You know what I mean?
She wants it.
And it's just a beautiful fucking like sequence beautiful sequence, by the way. It's really well done shots, you know? And he's like, you got to show them that over and over and over and over until they think they were born that way. Cold line. And she goes, next scene, she goes, think I'm ready for a fight, boss? And he goes, Clint Eastwood doesn't really say anything. And she, and then it goes to the next day, right? Yeah. And she's sparring with somebody, right? And he goes, you're not breathing. And then she comes out and she's like, takes her mouthpiece out. She's like, I hate to disagree with you, boss. And he's like, you're panting. He's like, every time you get under your pressure, you hold your breath. That's why you're panting all the time. She's like, stop doing that. She's like, okay. She's like, other than that, I'm getting pretty good. He's like, you're getting better. She's like, well, you think I'm ready for a fight now, boss? And then he goes, when you get you another manager, we'll find out. We'll find out for that. She goes, okay. She's like, you got any family, boss? He goes, no. Well, I got a daughter. She goes, well, that's family, boss. He goes, well, yeah, well, we're not really that close. And then she goes, how much does he weigh? How much does she weigh? And he goes, what? She goes, well, trouble in my family comes by the pound. And he's like, well, she used to be in good shape. I haven't really talked to her or seen her in so long that I don't know if she's kept up with it, you know? And you can see him kind of like, oh, okay, what happened there?
Right.
You know?
That's really weird.
Yeah. And then she goes, well, you think I'm ready for a fight now, boss? And he looks at her and he goes, hey, Sally. There's another manager like watching boxers over here, and he calls him over.
Right.
And he's like, hey, I got this young fighter here. I think they're going to be great. I've been training her. She's ready to go now. All right, here you go. And then he walks off just like that. And she goes, up. And he goes, hey, you think you're ready for a fight? Whoop, whoop. And then just like that, they're done.
Huh?
He traded her off. He gave her to the other manager.
Oh. But
Remember that deal they made?
Yeah, but she's not ready for $1 million.
That's what he's done.
I've-
That literally just, yeah, that is what just happened. So I don't know.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, this movie's not also, you know me, bro. You think the movie's going to go exactly like what you think?
It never does. It never does.
So he gets rid of her really fast, right after that daughter conversation.
Yeah.
Gets rid of her.
Okay.
You know? So she's like looking at him as he coldly walks away, and she's talking to the Sally guy, and the Sally guy's like, hey, I think you're ready for a fight. What do you think? And she's like, yeah, I guess, you know, yeah, okay. You know, like you tell they're kind of deflated now, you know?
Right. Yeah,
So
she's not into it anymore.
So the next scene, she's in her match, and like she's kind of losing, and goes back to her corner, right? She's in her first fight, and she's talking to the Sally guy. She's like, what's happening out there? I need some advice. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you're doing fine. Just keep punching. She's like, but I'm losing. He's like, just keep punching. You're fine. He clearly doesn't care.
Yeah,
Like, he's just like,
it's just some girl.
He's making money. I get my cut. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oof, bad.
One of
manager,
those.
Bad
Yeah.
coach.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so as that's happening, you see, they pan back and you see Frankie and Scrap. They're watching from like the top, and Frankie's just yelling, keep up your left. God damn it, keep your left up. And while that's happening, Morgan Freeman's just talking to him. And he's calmly talking, but but what he's saying is he's telling him how the manager has Maggie in this fight like in a fixed way, so she would lose on purpose so he can make more money, and it'll help some other fighter in another fight. Like he promised that he would fix her up against somebody that he knows would beat her, just so he could set up this other fight for his other guy.
For his other guy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Morgan Freeman is kind of like calmly telling him this, like, actually, I heard that, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, keep up your left. And he's kind of nodding their dress again. He's like, God damn it, keep your left up. And then finally he says one more thing. He's like, yeah, so, you know, I think actually Maggie's just in this fight as a decoy. It's kind of fucked up, huh? And then he goes, God damn it. And he throws his jacket down, and then it shows him run down the stairs. Like, you know?
He hates to lose.
He can't handle
Can't
it.
lose.
Can't handle
That's
it.
how you know you're a sportsman in your heart. You can't lose.
So he goes down and he argues with the Sally guy, right? And he goes, Sally, what are you doing? And Sally's like, what are you talking about what I'm doing? It's my fighter.
Is Sally anyone I'd recognize?
You'd kind of maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Not famous, but you may recognize
Well,
him.
then fuck you, Sally.
Fuck Sally.
Yeah.
Yo, fuck Sally. I didn't like him either.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's telling Sally, like, you know, what are you doing? And Sally's like arguing with him, like, oh man, this fighter isn't worth a shit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, get the hell out of here. And then the referee comes to the corner. He's like, hey, am I gonna call this fighter, or are you her trainer? Like, what's happening right now? And then he's like, this is my fighter. He's like, this is your fighter? And he looks at Maggie, and Maggie looks at him like, he's like, this is my fighter. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then she goes up to him. He's like, all right, you got 5 seconds. And he fixes her up a little bit. And he's like, tell me what to do, boss. What do I do? And he tells her like exactly what to do. It's like, you do this, you lean with your left, right when she makes this hook, you dodge, and you knock her out cold, all right? And she goes, okay. And literally goes out, and in 5 seconds does exactly what he tells her.
Ooh.
Knocks him out. Bow! Knocks this girl out cold.
Fuck
just
yeah.
Just like that.
You thought
You know?
this fight was fixed, bitch?
Not a fixed fight.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And so right then Morgan Freeman jumps up, and Morgan Freeman jumps on the ropes, and he's blown away.
Yeah.
He's like, holy hell, did you see that? And Clint Eastwood's like, yeah, I did see that. He's like, man, that girl's like Sugar Ray. She's got sugar, you know?
And Rays.
And Rays.
Yeah.
So after the fight, it's in the back. They're in the back, and then he looks at her and he goes, so what's the rule? And she's like, protect myself at all times. And he's like, so what do you always have to do? She's like, always protect myself. Number one rule, always protect myself. And then she goes, well, when you left me though, was that protecting me, Frankie? And then he goes, no, that wasn't protecting you. And she goes, are you gonna leave me again? He looks up, he goes, never. And she goes, okay. And then they kind of have a little bonding, sweet moment.
Right.
And then he looks at her and he goes, take the weekend off. And she goes, really, boss? You want me to take the weekend off? And she goes, are you going to argue with me? And she goes, I know better than to do that, boss. I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
And she goes, okay. And so And then the voiceover comes back up, and it's Morgan Freeman. He goes, "All fighters are a little pig-headed." He's like, you gotta have some stubborn. All fighters are pig-headed in some way or another. He's like, but they gotta have that stubbornness in them. And if you're able to beat that stubbornness out of a fighter, they weren't a fighter in the first place.
Ooh, God!
Right?
This is good lines.
I mean, it won all the Oscars.
Really good lines.
Really good writing, bro.
It's like as far as like zingers and lines go, it's like the opposite of 21.
The winner, chicken fucking dinner.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. We've said a million things that weren't that.
That were just amazing. These are some great lines.
Oh, you mean when you just sit down and actually try to write a good movie? Clearly, when you clearly sit down and go, I'm going to actually try to write a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, yes.
You're right.
Because now that we've been doing this podcast long enough, I've noticed some of y'all niggas ain't trying to write good movies. Fucking try. Because it clearly can be done.
Yeah, my God. My God, this is
I'm
amazing.
explaining this shit to him, and he's like, "This is good writing."
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
man.
explaining. I'm fucking up the dialogue, and you're still like, "This isn't bad." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh my God, she's gonna die. Oh God.
I know. I hate that you know that already, but
Yeah.
oh well.
It's like I got reverse J-Lo'd.
Yeah. That was for the deep listeners.
I know, right? For the fans, that was for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
So he tells Morgan, so the next day they're coming into the gym, and Frankie walks in and he sees Hillary Swank, and she's hitting the bag. She's already training.
Yeah.
He goes, "Didn't I tell you to take the weekend off?" She goes, "I didn't want to argue with you, boss." And then she keeps hitting the bag. And he's like, "God damn it!" And he's so pissed. He's so pissed. You know,
She's the best.
she's the best, right?
She is the best.
She just keeps hitting that bitch, just ignoring him. And then he goes to the office and he goes, "Goddamn woman won't listen to a word I say." You know, and he tells he looks at Morgan Freeman and he's like Morgan Freeman looks at him and goes, you want my advice? And he goes, "No." And he looks at him and Morgan Freeman's got like his feet on his desk and there's holes in his socks. And he's like, why do your socks have holes in them? He's like, "Oh, these are my nighttime socks. I like to sleep in these and let my feet breathe." He goes, "Well, why are you wearing them in the daytime?" He's like, "My daytime socks got too many holes in them." He's like, "Get the hell out of my office." There's a lot of those good little lines, bro.
He gets kicked out. He gets kicked out a lot of the office.
Yeah.
That's a running bit. I didn't expect a bit to be in this movie. It seemed very serious.
Oh, it's a tearjerker for fucking sure.
I know.
Oh, my poor girlfriend. You should have seen her this morning. Just fucking letting it out, bro. She had no idea though. She had never seen it. So that that happens, and then he also tells him, he's like, "Well, if I give you money for socks, before he kicks him out, he says, well, if I give you money for socks, will you go get more socks?" And he goes, "Yeah, maybe, or maybe it'll end up at the track." And he's like, "Get the hell out of my office." So he's like, "Just God damn it."
Yeah.
He's always pissed. He's pissed in every scene of this movie.
I think he's just pissed constantly.
I think he's pissed.
Yeah.
I think he's pissed when he wrote this.
Yeah.
So
this is so good.
So the next couple of fights, Maggie is knocking people out within 10 seconds. There's like a montage of her doing like 5 or 6, and like Mike Tyson, knocking them out within 5 to 10 seconds. Like beast mode shit. I'm talking about a lot of fights too.
Damn, biting people's ear off.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So and then to the point where she's too good, and Morgan Freeman was like, it got so good that people didn't even want to fight her. Because the Clint Eastwood character is like, you got to stop knocking them out in the first round. People aren't going to want to fight you. Nobody wants to see their fighters get embarrassed. And then she was like, well, why don't you move me up to 6 rounders? I'm fighting these 4 rounders. And he's like, you don't have the lungs for 6 rounds. And she was like, well, maybe I don't need the lungs for 6 rounds if I keep knocking them out in the first, right, boss? And then she says that, and he looks at her, and then the voiceover comes in, and Morgan Freeman goes, Frankie made her fight one more 4-rounder just to show her who's boss. And then Maggie knocks her out in like a half a second.
Yeah.
Like literally one punch. And then she looks at him, she goes, "Sorry, boss." Like that. And then he kind of smiles, right?
She's the best.
Yeah. And then so it shows her the next fight, and it's her first 6-rounder. And Morgan Freeman goes, now her first 6-rounder didn't go as smoothly as she wanted it to, And then it like she's back and forth for a second, and then he goes, Maggie didn't knock her out to the end of the first round. Wow! And she knocks her the fuck out. Like they just show this, like, oh, she's a beast.
Yeah.
She's become a legit fighter.
Yeah. Jesus, yeah. Knocking people out.
Well, early in the movie, she did tell Clint Eastwood, she said, if you train me, I'll be a champion. I know I'll be a champion. When he was giving her that birthday speech, she was like, if you train me, I will be a champion. So she knew it.
She knew it.
Mm-hmm. And so after that last KO in the 6th round, no managers wanted to fight Maggie because no new fighters, because they're like, oh, I'm not gonna put up my new fighter so she can embarrass her
Right.
Like, fuck that, you know?
Right.
So he had to start paying people out of pocket.
To fight her.
To just fight, like, out of his own purse. Clint Eastwood is
Damn.
paying people to fight her. And eventually they couldn't even do that anymore because she kept knocking people out.
Jesus.
So she's like 11-0, 10, like she's knocked out that many people at this point.
She's just
that's a lot.
it. Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's
I know
boxing number.
boxing.
Yeah,
I know sports.
that's a lot. That's like, whoa, that's a good start, man. 10-0, 11-0.
10-0, yeah.
Goddamn. You know, so the voiceover goes, eventually, Frankie had to do something he never did before in his life. He took a chance. He moved her up in weight class. You know, so now it shows her and she's fighting this big black woman, right? A bigger woman than her, right? And
what class is she in now?
It doesn't say. But she moved up. But this is like, oh, the woman is clearly bigger now.
Okay,
so it's like, okay, so she had to move up or else people wouldn't fight her.
People wouldn't fight her. That's crazy.
Right? Bro, it's crazy. I didn't know that. Like, oh, wow, that makes sense, though.
Yeah.
If you were new, like, I probably would be a lot of politics like that, you know? So right as that happens, she gets decked. Bam! The girl breaks her nose. Breaks Maggie's nose.
Oh, damn.
Right? First time anybody's ever connected with her.
Right.
You know, so she's now, the rest of the round, she's just defending, right? And trying to get out of the round.
Right.
And then she gets to the corner and blood is gushing out. And then the guy comes over. He's like, hey, we're going to have to stop this if you don't stop this blood. And then he looks at her. He's like, Maggie, I got to stop the fight. She's like, just break, snap it back. Snap it back. And she's like, I can't. He's like, it's not going to stop the blood. It doesn't matter. She's like, if you snap it back, I promise I can beat her. Just snap it back. He's like, God damn it. And he fucking grabs her and he's like, hold on to this. She bites a towel. I know Sam couldn't watch this shit. He goes, it snaps her nose back, and then she goes, right? And then he takes Q-tips and he dips them in Vaseline, and then he shoves them up her brain. And he goes, inhale. He goes, inhale. She's like, and like she's fucking like this. He's like, inhale. And it's just like, and then she pulls them out, and then the blood stops. And then he puts a bunch of Vaseline on her nose, and then the doctor comes over and he's like, she looks good. He's like, all right. And he tells her, you got 20 seconds before it's a blood geyser all over the front row. You got 20 seconds. He's like, all right, you got to do it. 20 seconds now, go. And then she goes out and she knocks her out in like 5.
Jesus Christ. Whew. I need to breathe. My God.
Badass singer.
Bro, she is the best. She's, I mean, already one of my favorite movie characters.
Oh, dude,
already.
This is one of my top 5 movies of all time, probably. Like, this is up there with my Dark Knights and shit. I love this movie. I've seen it so many times. I love this movie, bro. That's why I didn't want to give you too much hype because it's like, I love this movie. And I don't want to oversell it. It's like, I genuinely love this movie.
Okay, but my God, that was, whew. All right. She pulls out a victory.
You know?
Yeah.
And so as he pulls out that victory, you hear for the first time, it shows Clint Eastwood, and he's looking at her, and he mouths the words for the first time, Mokushla. Okay? Mouths Mokushla for the first time.
Okay. That's so it's important. I get it.
What if it wasn't?
That would be.
What if I'm gonna do that to you at some point?
I mean, you made me believe Morgan Freeman wasn't in this goddamn
Actually, I have
movie.
done that to you a couple times.
Shut the fuck up.
So the next scene is them at a hospital, and of course, and then Frankie is like, "Hey, what did you learn tonight?" And she goes, "I always protect myself." And she's holding like ice in her nose like that. And he's like, "And what do you always have to do?" She's like, "Always protect myself." And she's like, "And what's the golden rule?" And she's like, "Always protect myself." You know what I mean? Like no matter what, always just constantly have her repeat that the whole movie. Protect yourself, protect yourself. So a doctor comes out and goes, "Margaret Fitzgerald." She's like, "Here." Like that, she's so cute. Just the whole here,
the best,
you know. And then Morgan Freeman Clint Eastwood gets up. He's like, "I'll be here if you need me" or anything, right? And you can tell he loves her now.
Yeah. Well,
like
how do you not?
This is his like daughter, pretty much now. Like anything for, he's just all about her. This is his life now.
Right, her.
You know, just like he was the Willie guy as well. I'm sure.
Right.
You know? So Maggie keeps fighting and keeps knocking them out. She's just knocking out people just fight after fight, just knocking them. She's knocking out people so fast. There's a couple scenes where like Frankie, so it shows the camera doesn't even show her knockout. It's on him. It goes ding ding. She gets up off the stool. He goes to put the stool down and like turns and you hear ding 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 before it even hits, and then he has to put the stool back. Like knocks her out that fast. Like she's just
that's a great scene.
Beast. Oh, it's a great little shot.
That's a
Love
great
that shot.
Yeah.
So the voiceover goes, you hear Morgan Freeman goes, "Maggie finally got a title shot to fight Billy the Blue Bear, the dirtiest fighter ever." And then it shows a clip of this woman who she's just a filthy, dirty fighter.
Oh, she just...
Yeah, like she like elbows this lady, like it shows a clip of her knocking some other lady out. And then Morgan Freeman goes, it didn't bother her. It didn't care to her at all. Or it didn't bother her at all that a punch like that could kill a person. And then it shows her hit her while she's down. You know this other girl?
Yeah.
And they were like, fans loved her. She was the dirtiest person they've ever seen, you know? It's like Frankie turned it down cold, you know? And then Frankie got another fight to fight the British world champ, which is the girl the Blue Bear just beat. Frankie turned that down too.
Ooh, man, Frankie, you haven't learned.
I know. He's and then so they're talking and he's like, why are you still working at this diner, right? He goes to the visitor at the diner and then she's like, I'm just, saving my money. She's like, so you think I can get a title? You think I should fight the British title? We can at least fight that girl? And he's like, oh, you don't need a British title. It's not even real. What do you need it for? He's like, he's like, we don't need any more fights like that, honestly. And if you could protect your face a little better, then maybe I wouldn't have to turn down these championship fights. And then she goes, that's weird, Frankie. She's like, she said, it's weird considering I ain't never been knocked out yet, but I don't know how to protect myself, apparently. And then she gets up and walks off, and he's like,
yeah,
damn it.
Top quality sass right there.
Yeah,
fuck yeah, Hillary.
I forgot what the line exactly, but it's something clever like that. Weird enough, I haven't been knocked out, but I can't protect myself. Haven't even got to the second round yet, but once.
Yeah.
Yet I can't protect myself.
Yeah, get her. Get him.
So, the next night, Maggie's working late night in the gym. She's got her left tied up to her, literally taped up to her face.
So to know.
So just so she can work on keeping herself protected. She's a listener, bro.
She's smart.
She's smart.
She's
She's working on that, just working on her left up. And then Scrap comes in and he stops her. And he goes, hey, go take a shower. You're done. I made reservations. It's Morgan Freeman, right? And she goes she's all happy. She's like, what? She's really happy. And then he takes her to her diner and you find out it's her birthday again.
Oh,
and then he gets her a cupcake and he goes, 33 ain't so bad. He's like, I fought till I was 39, And she was like, oh, really? They're kind of talking about it. And then as that happened, Mickey Mack comes in this diner, the guy who took Willie.
He smells manager, blood.
He comes in the diner and he says, hey to, Scrap. And Scrap says, hey, what's up, Mickey? And then he goes and he sits at the end of the diner. She kind of looks at him like, oh, he looks familiar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he looks at her and he goes, you guys not speaking? Because they don't speak. And then she goes, well, I don't hardly know him. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, he said, you want to know how I met Frankie? And he tells him, he's like, I met him on my 37th birthday. He's like, I was fighting and I needed a cut, man. And he's like, I was beat up so bad I thought it would be impossible. But he's like, he patched me up like it was nothing. He's like, and he stayed with me till the end of my career. You know what I mean? And every fighter has a particular number of fights in him. He's like, mine was 109. He was like, I just didn't want to admit it. He's like, in that last fight, he's like, I got cut right over the right eye. And, Frankie wanted to stop it, but I didn't listen. He just kept patching me up and just went round after round. And he's like, I was a black man in San Purdue. He's like, so they weren't going to stop the fight, even though I was bleeding, just blood rushing in my eye. Round after round, I go 15 rounds. And eventually, he said, I lose by decision, He said, and Frankie, he said, I lose by decision. And he said, later that night, I lost the eye. And he said, in 23 years, Frankie's never talked about that night once. Said, I can tell it still hurts him.
That's how he lost the eye.
That's how he lost the eye. That's why Frankie's still mad about it. Because he feels like it's his fault.
Yeah.
Because he didn't stop the fight.
I get that.
You know what I mean? So, and that's why he feels like his life is kind of his fault. You know what I mean? Like where his life trajectory went.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why Frankie keeps him around, even though he pretends to hate him.
Exactly. So,
I see you, Clint Eastwood. You have a heart.
And then he tells her, he's like, Maggie, if you want to get the title, maybe he ain't the one to get you there. Talking about Clint Eastwood. Okay? And he tells her, he's like, she's like, so, and she's like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. And he kind of looks at Mickey Mack and she looks at him and he's like, now eat your cupcake. And he pays and he leaves. And so she kind of looks at Mickey Mack and he's kind of looking at her and she goes, she gets up over to him. She goes, hi, Mr. Mickey Mack. And he goes, yeah, how's it going?
Mr. Mickey
Mack.
Yeah,
you know her. And she goes, I ain't never leaving, Mr. Dunn. Just thought you should know. And then she left. And then the voiceover comes back up and it's Morgan Freeman. And he goes, Maggie always liked knocking him out in the first round.
Bam!
Cold writing.
Did Morgan Freeman go, fuck yeah? After that, did he drop the mic?
Pretty much.
Yeah, Jesus.
Because he was the one who called him. Because he did it because he said, if you're going to leave Frankie, do it now. I don't want to see him hurt again.
Okay.
Like how Willie just did him.
Okay.
That's why that happened.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, and yeah, man, really deep stuff. So it shows Frankie coming home, Clint Eastwood, and he opens the door and he has like 5 or 6 letters on his floor, and they're all returned to sender. And they're all the letters that he's been sending his daughter every day. She never reads them. She just returns them back.
Jesus, what happened?
Don't know. So, yeah. So he goes back to her place, to Maggie's place, right? Clint Eastwood, and it's a dump. She has a shitty place.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you doing with all your money?" And she's like, "I'm saving it." He's like, "That's smart. That's smart." He's like, "Save it all, buy a little house. Get you a little house, get you a nice little setup. Something nice just for you." And she's like, "Okay, I will." And then he goes, "Oh, by the way, do you have a TV and a tape player?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "Well, where are we gonna watch this?" And he tells her that she's fighting. He's like, "'Cause you're fighting the British champ." He's like, "I said yes to the fight." And she's like, "Ah!" She freaks out, and she jumps on him. And she's like, "Yeah!" And she starts fucking fighting in the air. You know what I mean? She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking win." You know what I mean? She's so excited. And he's like, "You don't have a goddamn TV?" Because he's looking for it. Like, how are we gonna watch this?
Yeah.
And so the next scene is literally right before the fight. Right before this fight where she's fighting the British champ. And a guy comes in and he goes, 10 minutes, love. And then she goes, "Did you hear that? That man said he loved me." And he goes, "They always say that."
The best.
Yeah, and she goes, "You think if I win, he'll propose?" And then he goes, "I'll tell you what, if you win, I'll propose."
God.
Yeah. And then he's like, "I got you something." And she's like, "What?" And then he pulls out a robe. And it's a big green Irish, clearly like colored flag robe. And it says Mokushla on the back.
Ooh.
Okay. And she's like, she freaks out. She's like, "I love it, I love it. What does it mean?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. It just means something in Gaelic." She's like, "Okay, I love it." And she screams, she hugs him. And then so she walks out with the Mokushla robe on, right? And people lose their shit. Whole crowd goes crazy. "Mokushla, Mokushla, Mokushla, Mokushla." Like that, right? And they love her. People are loving her. And then the voiceover comes back and it's Morgan Freeman. He's like, "She wasn't the main attraction that night. But if you ask anybody who was there, they'd only remember her. She stole the show." You know what I mean? Mokushla, you're Mokushla, Mokushla.
I'm getting
And so
goosebumps.
so she's fighting this big black woman again, right? This big black woman with dreads. And it's going back and forth. It's going back and forth. It's a good fight.
Right.
She's actually having her first back and forth.
Right.
Mokushla, Mokushla. You hear all the the screams, and then the first round ends, And she looks at Clint Eastwood and she's like, "I can't get inside. I just can't get inside of her." And he goes, "You want to know why that is?" She's like, "Yeah, why is that?" And he goes, "'Cause she's a better fighter than you. She's younger, she's stronger, and she's more experienced. So what are you gonna do about it?" And he just turns around and walks out. And she's like, and then she goes back in and she knocks her the fuck out in like 5 seconds.
Jesus Christ, what a great coach.
Dude.
My God.
The way he says the
My
line to her.
God.
Because you think he is gonna say some he's like, "You wanna know why that is?" She's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, because she's better than you. Stronger, faster, younger, and more experienced."
Ooh. That is a coaching technique to tell. That I remember.
Well, when somebody is just better than you, and it's like, well, yo, you want to know why they're doing better than you? Because they are. So either beat them or not.
I remember, this is a little bit off the beaten path, but I remember before I watched this documentary on the 49ers, when they beat the Dolphins in the Super Bowl, and the Dolphins were this historic team offensively, and Bill Walsh comes in the night before and just reads newspaper after newspaper. I guess we stand no chance. I guess we stand no chance. I guess we stand no chance. They're a better team. They're a better team. And the Niners beat the shit out of them the next day.
Because when they on paper are a better team, it's like, why? They are. Because it's like, yo, you want to know why everybody's saying that? They are a better team. So it's like, what are you going to do?
You win. You want it more.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, do you want it more? Because that's the only thing you do. Because it's like, yeah, she's faster. She's stronger. They're a better passing team. They're a better defense team. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's up to you guys.
You got to go out there and win. And then she knocked this British chick out.
Fuck out.
Mokushla, bitch.
Mokushla. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody's she screams. She jumps on Frankie like she goes and jumps on him like that, like like that. The whole crowd, Mokushla, Mokushla.
Yeah.
So the next scene is she's looking at him and she goes, I could ask somebody what it means, And then he kind of smiles and he's like, "You do that." She kind of like trying to get him to tell her what it means.
Yeah. She wants it from his mouth.
Yeah, the voiceover comes back and she's like, "Whatever it meant, it stuck. No matter where Maggie fought, she was Mokushla." And then it just shows her fighting all over the map, like over the globe, like international fight, and just dominating, knocking people out. She's just becoming just a monster, bro. Legend in the game, right? You know what I'm saying? So, Morgan Freeman goes, and by the time she got back to the States, Maggie was in a whole different league. Like, she has a whole following now.
Right.
Now she has a fan base.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people are just chanting, Mokushla, Mokushla. And she's at this fight. And then who's watching is the Billy the Blue Bear chick, that dirty fighter.
Yeah.
She's there watching her fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they go up to Frankie after her fight. And they go, after the win. And they say they want 60-40 for the title.
So
she'll get 60%,
40%.
And then Frankie goes, "Well, you hear all those people chanting? What are they saying? Mokushla. You come up to 50-50, we'll do the fight." You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
So he goes to have dinner with Maggie, tells her the plan. She says, okay, I trust you, Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because clearly he's learned a little bit from Willie.
Right.
That,
Can't
all
say
right, I
no.
can't say no, but I can still negotiate, but I can't say no to these fights anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she tells him, like, and then, so when he tells her that, she goes, I got to tell you something, Frankie. She goes, what? She goes, remember that house you told me to buy? I bought it. And he goes, oh, good. She's like, but I bought it for my mama. She was like, oh, you're a good daughter. She's like, thanks. She's like, I want you to come, when I show it to her, I want you to meet her. And he's like, okay, we'll go. So the next scene, she brings Frankie home with her, right? Like to meet her family. And she picks up her mom at a house. And her mom's kind of like a fat lady.
Yeah.
Her like sisters there with her like, kids. And then they pick them up and then they take them to the house you just bought. And the mom's like, isn't this the Johnson's old place? And she's like, not anymore, Mom. It's yours. I bought it for you. It's your house now. She's like, oh, why would you do that? Like, and her and the other daughter the sister start complaining. Like, oh, well, who's supposed to stay in his room? And JT's about to get out of prison. You want him to stay here with us too? And she's like, no, I mean, it's up to you guys, whoever wants to stay here. Right. And she's like, oh, Maggie, I wish you would have told me about this. She's like, no, Mama, I knew you needed a new house. It's for you. She's like, no, you shouldn't have done this. And she yells at her. Christ. And then she's like, what's wrong? She's like, they're going to cut off my welfare. She's like, I need my welfare. How am I supposed to get my Medicaid? She's like, Mama, I send you more money. She's like, I send you money. Why do you need? She's like, yeah, but it's not enough. I need more money for Medicaid. She's like, well, I'll send you more money. And she's like, yeah, but what about Jane's hospital bills? We need that. She's like, well, I'll send more money. She's like, oh, well, I wish you would have just told me. My God, we don't need this, or just let me know, before you make decisions like this. And she's like, you know what, Mama?
Oh, I hate her family.
Yeah. Oh, you don't even know yet, bro. So she's like, you know what, Mama? Here are the keys. It's your house. Sell it if you want. I don't care. So she walks out. She storms out, right? And then the mom's like, whatever. So she feels bad. So they go back to the other place, right? And the mom's telling her, like, I wish you'd have just sent me the money. Don't, next time, just give me money. I don't need a house. I don't need gifts. Just give me money, And then she grabs her face because she's got a black eye. She grabs Hillary Swank's face. She's like, Marianne, is that man hitting you? She goes, no, Mom, I'm a fighter. It's from the fight. She's like, oh, you're still doing that? She's like, people, you know what they do? They laugh at you. They laugh at you, Marianne, when I tell them what you do. She's like, it's embarrassing. She's like, you need to go do something proper. You need to go do something right. And then she just sit there looking at her.
Punch her in the face. Punch her in the motherfucking face.
And then it like shows her face and it kind of like fades out. And then it shows like them at a gas stop and she's just still looking like so sad. Mm-hmm. Like how she was looking when she was looking at her mom. And she's looking at this little girl who's playing with the dog. She's just watching it, right?
Yeah.
And then Clint Eastwood's pumping the gas and like cleaning the window. And then eventually the little girl looks at like Hillary and she smiles and then Hillary kind of like smiles back.
Right.
It's a sweet little moment, right?
Right.
So they're back in the car and they're driving and then it's quiet and then she goes, my daddy had a dog. His name was Axel. He was a German Shepherd. She was like, we loved Axel so much. He was so, we watched him get old and his, we watched his legs stop working and he had to drag, his old legs, his hind back quarters around the house and we would all just laugh. And she was talking about her little sister and brother. Like we loved him so much and it was so much fun. She said, and I remember one day, Daddy, he took Axel out in the truck and I heard him driving off and they're singing and hooting and hollering and just having a good old time. And it wasn't until Daddy came home alone that I noticed the shovel in the back of his trunk. She looks at him. She's like, you're all I got, Frankie. That's how that scene ends, bro. So she tells him. So that ends. And
Jesus.
Then, so it cuts back to like them driving back later. She goes, oh, do you want to stop? She's like, my daddy used to stop at this pie place all the time. You're going to the best lemon pie in town. And he goes, okay, yeah, sure, let's stop. And then they pull over and they stop. And then he loves it. He loves the pie. And he's like, oh, man.
Of course he does.
He's like, I always wanted a place, to own a place like this. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah, I'd always thought I could maybe buy a place like this one day and just settle down here and retire, And then that theme kicks in. That and it just kind of fades out.
Yeah.
So the next day, Morgan Freeman, he's talking to Scrap, and he's like, we got the fight. 50-50, $1 million for the title. He's like, we got $1 million girl now,
Yeah.
So it came true,
Yeah.
And he's like, against the Blue Bear. And then he asked Morgan, he's like, you want to come? He's like, I know you never got to a title fight, so I figured you might want to be in the corner for one. He kind of like laughs. And he's like, no, you guys go without me. He's like, go get somebody with young hands who can do a better job. And then he laughs.
Right.
And he's like, hey, you tell Maggie, don't come back here without a title. He's like, will do, So he leaves, and then right behind him, Danger comes up, and he's like, Mr. Scrap, I got a question, and I feel really stupid for asking. He says, ain't no such thing as a dumb question, Danger. He goes, okay, I've been thinking on it, Mr. Scrap. How y'all getting this ice in this water bottle? Look at this little hole. I've just been thinking on it, like, how y'all get all this ice through this little hole? I just don't know how y'all do it, Mr. Scrap. And then he goes, come here, Danger. I'll show you how we do it. It's like, you'll do that for me, Mr. Scrap? And he's like, I sure will. He's like, oh, thank you, man. I just been wondering for so long.
Bro, a callback?
Great movie, bro.
Bro, what?
Did you see that coming?
No.
You thought I told you that stupid water thing for no reason?
I forgot about it.
I know you did.
You're an asshole.
It's how good this movie. I'm having fun telling it, bro.
Oh,
Beyond that, we're not having any laughs. It's just fun. It's how good this movie is. It's just fun to tell.
This movie is amazing.
Amazing thing, bro. So they leave. He goes to get Maggie, and he picks her up, and he goes, hey, I got the tickets. So would you rather, he says, your choice. Would you rather fly or drive? And she goes, I can decide? And he goes, yeah, do you want to fly or drive? She goes, you're going to let me choose for real? He goes, yes. You want to fly or do you want to drive there? And she goes, fly there, drive back. And he's like, how the hell are we going to do that? She goes, I don't know. You let me choose. And then she leaves. She walks out the room, right? And he's like, God damn it. Just like every time.
She's amazing.
Just every time he says, he lets her do anything, she pisses him off. And I love it, you know? So, the next scene is Morgan Freeman back at the gym, and Anthony Mackie comes up to him and he goes, hey, old school, toilet's overflowing. And he kind of like throws a mop at him, kind of. And he's like, oh, he kind of looks like I fucking hate that guy. And then he goes to the toilet, and the toilet's just, clearly somebody did it on purpose.
Right.
Like, and he's like, what the fuck, piece of shit. And he's just cussing it like, that piece of shit. And he's cleaning it up. And while that's happening, the Anthony Mackie character is beating the shit out of the Danger guy. Kicking his ass. And then it cuts back to Morgan Freeman, and he's mopping and just cussing and mopping and cussing. Cuts back to him. He's beating him up in the ring. Just giving it to him. Like he's a real boxer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like legit punch. His face is completely, looks like Rocky or something. You know what I mean? Just fucked up. And finally Morgan Freeman, because he hears people like go, oh! And he raises up and he goes, what the and he goes and peeks outside and he sees it and he runs up and he's like, hey, and he breaks it up and he's get at it and he throws the Anthony Mackie guy off of him, and then Anthony Mackie guy's still talking shit like, oh, come on, what are you gonna save him? Huh? Oh, you gonna save him? Come on, Flip, we ain't done, Flip. You know, and the Danger character's like just fuck blood everywhere, just and he's like, hey, come on, you all right, Danger? You okay? And he's like, how'd I do, Mr. Scrap? He's like, you did good. You won, man. You kicked ass. You rock. You know? He's like, oh no, I should have knowed. I shouldn't have been in here. He's like, oh no. He's like, everybody can lose one, Danger. He's like, don't you worry, everybody can lose one. He's like, no, I shouldn't be here. He's like, you just take my gloves off. And he's like, yeah, come here, I'll take your gloves off. And then the Anthony Mackie character still talking shit. Like, oh, you gonna help that retard? Huh? Oh, you done, Flip? You leaving? You gonna take the gloves off? You done? And then Morgan Freeman goes, hey, Danger, do you mind if I wear your gloves? He's like, no, Mr. Scrap. He goes, okay. And he puts the gloves on, and then Anthony Mackie goes, no, you kidding me. You telling me I get to fight a retard and an old man? You better call ESPN because you can't write this shit, baby. Bow! And then Morgan Freeman busts that nigga nose. Like right after that line.
Fuck
whack,
you.
Right? Just
Fuck
like, whoa.
you.
And he knocks him in, and so he puts his gloves up, right? And then he hits him again, like Morgan Freeman. And so now Morgan Freeman's only got one glove on, by the way.
Yeah.
Hits him again. And then the Anthony Mackie character lays into the Morgan Freeman guy. Hits him like 3 times, and he takes it. Bow, bow, bow. And then Morgan Freeman dodges that last one, whoo, and just uppercut. Woo!
Yeah, fuck him.
Knocks his fucking tooth out.
Yeah, fuck you, Anthony Mackie.
Falcon.
Fucking asshole.
Fucking Falcon.
God, I'm so mad right now.
Yo,
I'm so
knocks
angry.
his tooth out.
Yeah, good.
Knocks his tooth out.
Piece of
and then I
shit.
love this line. He looks down, and he goes, 110. Beautiful writing, bro. Beautiful writing. How many callbacks is that in the last couple minutes, man?
Full circle. This is a full circle movie.
You know? So he looks down, then he looks down at the guy and he says, get a job. And he throws the gloves on him, you know? Like, get out of my gym, get a job.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and Danger's gone. So? Cuts it back to Maggie and our boy Clint.
Yep.
And he looks at her and he goes, you win this one? I'll tell you what it means. And she goes, really? And then he goes, I got you some pipers too. And then she comes out to the like just Irish pipes, bagpipes, you know? And the crowd goes crazy. Mokoshla, Mokoshla, Mokoshla.
Right.
People are going crazy for her, you know what I'm saying? And then the Blue Bear comes out. And she has all these like just dark, ominous tones, and she looks like a fucking cold-blooded killer, man. Just no emotion, like Tyson.
Would I recognize her?
No.
No. All right.
Just cold-blooded killer. She comes out, and Clint Eastwood says one of the greatest lines I've ever heard in television history, in any movie. He says, he looks at her and he goes, "I want you to jab her right in the tits until they turn blue and fall off."
Oh, so Clint Eastwood watches the porn I watch.
Oh, so you've already heard that line?
Yeah, for sure. Punching tits 9.
So fight starts. Maggie looks good. She looks good, bro. They're going back and forth. It's a good fight, right? Yeah. Everyone is watching back. They're showing people watch back on TVs. Morgan Freeman's watching back on TV. They showed all the boxers from the gym. They're all like listening on the radio, even like everybody like, oh, is supporting her. You know what I mean? Like this is huge. She might be $1 million champion, title winner, you know? Right. So they're going back and forth, and then she knocks down Maggie with a cheap shot.
Oh,
right. And then like while she's down, she gives her like a little back elbow nobody sees, right?
Yeah.
And then like so while the ref's like, hey, you know, don't be doing that, blah blah blah, and the ref's like, I'm gonna take away a point for that, you know. And he turns around to take away a point, and as she does, she fucking hits Maggie while she's on the ground. Like a clear any situation, this fight would be stopped.
Yeah.
If this wasn't a movie.
Yeah.
How in the fuck does that go on in a?
Yeah.
It's on HBO, and you're telling me this is.
How did they let her get this far if she's doing that to people? I didn't think that.
I mean, the elbow, little things like that I get, but I'm talking about hits her like while she's on the ground.
That's fucked up.
There's no way. There's also the fight's over. There's TV.
You lost.
You lost. It's over.
Yeah.
So the round ends after that, right? And then they go up to Maggie and like her eye is now fucked up.
Yeah.
Blood cut really bad. Eyes right over here. You know, right over the eye.
Right.
It's fucked up bad. And she. Like they take a point away from the Blue Bear, and then as the ref goes up to her and he tells her like, "Hey, anything else from you, and I'm disqualifying you."
Right.
You know, you do anything else, you're out of here. Right. So second round starts, and Maggie knocks her back down ASAP. Wow, knocks her down. Right.
Yeah. So you deserve, cheater.
Yeah. Frankie's absolutely pissed, by the way, the whole time. He's just like, fucking cocksucker. Like the whole time they show him, he's just mouthing cuss words, right?
Right.
And so the second round, and they're going back and forth, and Maggie starts like giving it to her hard.
Right.
Like real hard, right? And then the round ends, and then she like, you know, they kind of eye each other down, and then she goes to Frankie, she says, "Hey, my eyesight's blurring. I can't see," you know? And she's like, "All right, he's like, well, we're gonna have to do something about your eye. So you gotta knock her out before your eye is gonna keep bleeding."
Yeah.
And she's like, "All right, you gotta knock her out then." She's like, I can't see, my eyesight's getting blurry. Mm-hmm. And then he tells her, "What I want you to do is hit her right in her sciatic nerve. It's a nerve right on her ass. You hit her right in that, you keep digging in, it'll wear her down. You know, cheap shot her back, basically.
Right,
you know?
right.
So the next shot.
Fight fire with fire.
Fire. So she goes in, and they're fucking going back and forth, and then she starts digging right under her ass. Like, bow, giving her just shots right to the nerve, right under her ass cheek.
Yeah.
And it's fucking her up.
Yeah.
And then she starts wearing her down. Like, it looks like she's about to knock her out. Like, it's wearing her down. And then, like right as she's about to knock her out, ding, ding, Saved by the Bell.
Ooh.
Okay? So Maggie's like fucking feeling it. The crowd's, Mokushla. Everybody's going crazy. She's smiling. And then as she starts smiling and turns, the camera just goes to slow motion. And it cuts back to the Blue Bear. And just you see that fist coming. Connects. Knocks her out cold. She drops in slow motion. The stool was already out. That's when you see Frankie, he's reaching. He's like, no, trying to grab the stool. And right as he grabs it, it's too late. Her head. You hear the snap. Dead silence in the entire arena. Just dead silence. No noise at all. Yeah, bro. And that's it. And then she just kind of like, it shows the room kind of spin, and then she just passes out. So when she wakes up, she's in the hospital, tubed all up. She's like that. And then she wakes up and she's like, Frankie. Like just kind of panicking because, you know, Frankie. And then she just passes out again. Bro. Then it shows her wake up again. And Frankie is there this time.
God
right?
Damn. Yeah.
And she says something to make him laugh, right? Like about his hair.
She's the best.
And then
she's still the best.
And then she passes back out. Yep. So she wakes up again. Scrap is there this time, right?
Yeah.
And he's like telling her, she's like, where's Frankie? And he's telling her he's out. She's like, oh, he's out there telling the doctors how to do their job, you know?
Yeah.
And they're talking for a second, and then she goes, they told me what kind of, they told me, what I am, how my spinal cord is so broken that they can't fix it. I'm going to be frozen like this for the rest of my life. And like she's trying to talk through the breathing tube, And then as she's saying that, she's like, I shouldn't have dropped my hands. She's like, starts crying. I shouldn't have turned. Always protect myself. Always protect myself. Bro, this scene, this is when Sam lost it. I'm talking about, we're just like flooded, nigga. Just like, oh shit. I didn't know I had that much emotion in me.
Oh my God.
I don't know why that scene in particular just fucked me up, man.
She's blaming herself
for
a cheap shot. Fuck that big bear person. I'm glad she
should be in jail, right?
I'm glad I don't recognize you.
She would be in jail, right?
Yeah,
in my head?
Yeah, she'd be in jail.
I would hope.
Yeah, you'd definitely be in jail. If you took a cheap shot afterwards and it pretty much killed a person, you'd definitely go to jail.
But the fact that she's already done that so many times, it's like, I don't know. Then again, Mike Tyson bit a dude's ear off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, but he didn't kill him. She killed this person.
Yeah.
Pretty much. She killed a person.
Jesus Christ, man.
With a cheap shot.
Yeah.
I'm so angry. I'm so angry and sad. My God.
It fucks you up, man. That scene fucks you up. So Frankie, like Morgan Freeman character, he goes outside and the Frankie character's in the hallway, pissed, clean. He's just in the mad. And then he looks at Morgan Freeman and he goes, it's all your fault. And Morgan Freeman goes, what? He's like, it's your fault. You made me do this. If it wasn't for you, she wouldn't even be in there. He's like, everything in my gut told me not to take her on. Everything told me not to train her. Except you. And then he storms off. And Morgan Freeman's like, man, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, Frankie, he goes into her room and he tells her, he's like, I'm getting you out of here. He's like, I feel like they, He's like, I'm getting you out of here.
The
he's like, I'm getting you out of here. He's like, I feel like, these doctors don't know shit, or else why would they be living in this stupid ass desert? He's like, well, I'm gonna take you someplace where they actually studied medicine. And then she kind of like smiles, right?
Uh-huh.
And then it's back to a voiceover, and he goes, Frankie must have called every hospital in North America. He's like, just trying to find someone that can fix her. Nothing could be done.
The spine, man. He's
like, he came close twice, and those 2 hospitals came out to visit her, and then immediately were like, oh no, she's gone.
Yeah.
It took 2 months before she was stable enough before they could even drive her back home.
Yeah.
She's still at where the fight happened,
mm-hmm.
And that sad theme starts playing, that da-na-na-na. And then Frankie's giving her a bath, and she's got bad ulcers on her arms because she can't move, bed sores,
yeah.
And just her skin's getting taken over by that red, just ulcer shit, And, yeah, it's just sad shit, bro. And then they finally get her in the ambulance, and then they tell her, the voiceover goes like, it was a 6-hour drive by ambulance to get her back, to back home. And then it shows in the ambulance, and then she's looking up at Frankie, and she goes, fly there, drive back. And smiles. Bro. It hits him. That line fucks him up, obviously. Life is like, what's crazy though, that line? That's exactly what life is like though, bro. That line right there.
Yeah.
So, and the voiceover, Morgan Freeman says how they had to pump oxygen into her 24 hours a day.
Right.
Like that's just where she is.
She's
now.
lived a terrible life.
Yeah. So she's waited. The next scene is she's waiting by the window for her family to come.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Frankie got in touch with her family and told them what happened, and they all said they were going to come. It had been weeks.
And they never came.
Frankie.
Oh, fuck them.
So Frankie goes to check in on where they were, and apparently they had got to the city weeks before. So they had been in town for weeks already.
And
they just hadn't come
spending her
yet.
money.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck them. Jesus Christ.
He doesn't tell her, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, she's talking to him one day. And she's like, you don't have to hang out here all day, every day. And he's like, oh, no, I like it here. He's like, I think I would come here anyway, even if you weren't here, just to read my books. And she laughs. And she's like, well, soon Mama will be here, so you won't have to be here anymore. And he's like, I know. It's okay.
So heartbreaking.
And then he lets her try to read some Gaelic, and then she tries, and she's like, look, God. He's like, oh, God, you're terrible. And he takes the book back from her, and she kind of smiles and laughs. And then he reads her the passage from English, and it's like this beautiful passage, right? Explaining like this trial of like an old man. And then she goes, are you going to quit all this, boss? He goes, quit what? Boxing? He goes, no, I can't quit boxing. I like the stink too much, And then she says, I can see you quitting, boss, and just getting a nice little cabin, where you can have your lemon pie. She's like, I think you'd like that. And then he smiles and he's like, yeah. He's like, maybe I'll start looking into that. You know,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I like that too, you know?
Yeah.
So the next day, the family finally comes.
Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah.
And right when because he's outside and then he sees them and they're about to bum rush in and he stops them because they have on all Disney World attire.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just all in Disney World getup because they clearly just came from Disney World.
Fuck them.
You know? And he goes, hey, you know, maybe you guys should go home and change before you come in. And they're like, no. And he's like, no. And he's like, well, I just don't think you should be going in dressed like all Mickey Mouse, you know? And then she goes, hey, we couldn't. She's like, well, Marianne, she said, it ain't like Marianne's going anywhere. All right, we'd have took her if we could. She can't go nowhere, all right? So just move. And then they bum rush in. Yeah, you can tell he's just like, God fucking damn it.
I'm so angry.
You know?
I'm so angry.
So they go in and then he leaves. He leaves them be. He leaves the room.
Right.
He comes back in like an hour and they're trying to get her to sign some paperwork. And they're explaining to her and they got a lawyer in the room and he's like, what's going on? And then they're telling her how it's this is just so her mama can oversee all her finances and make sure, you know, that she stays protected and all that stuff. And then she goes, oh, actually, Mom, you don't have to worry about all that. The boxing commission is taking care of all this. We're not paying for anything. They made sure I'm good for life, you know, obviously as they would have to,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And then she goes, oh, well, Marianne, well, you know, you can't trust that. What if something happens and you have to go? She's like, you know, God forbid, you know, what about the funeral costs? We know we don't want that, you know, so, you know, we don't want them taking my house or me possibly losing my welfare, you know, so, you know, just sign this, baby, and everything will be okay. And then Clint Eastwood's like, I don't think you should sign that. And then she goes, with all due disrespect, Mr. Dunn, this is Hillary.
Yeah.
She's like, I need you to stay out of my business. This is the family. You know, like she's pissed.
Yeah.
And then he walks out. He goes just like that and like, all right, you know, like, you're right. This isn't my place to tell you what to do.
It isn't.
So she goes, honey, you know, you just sign this and everything will be okay. And you know, we'll come and visit you and we'll get you in a nice place and everything will be fine. And she goes, and she tries to put it in her mouth like to sign it. She goes, Mama, did you watch the fight? She goes, Marianne, you know how I feel about fights. She goes, I did really good, Mama. And she goes, Marianne, you lost. You lost, okay? I mean, look at you. You lost. And then she just kind of like, you can tell like that was it.
Yeah.
She would have gave her the money if she'd have just been like, yeah, watch the fight.
Yeah, you idiot. Fucking fuck you.
You know,
fuck you.
Just all I needed was that one. My life is done.
Just
give me that.
How
can you not lie to me in that
little of
moment?
a heart do you have?
To not just lie in that moment.
Yeah, for real. My God, you hate your daughter.
Yo, well, yeah. Well, that was clearly from earlier. Yeah, earlier. I didn't make that clear.
But still, motherfuck. How can you hate your daughter?
So, right then, Hillary goes, "What happened to you?" She goes, "What's that supposed to mean?" You know, and she's like, "Get out of here." You know, before I tell this lore about how you're lying for welfare and how you're, lying for your children's age for more welfare. And then she goes, and if you ever come back, I'll sell that house right under your fat, lazy hillbilly ass. You know, and she's like, just get out of here. The mom's like, starts crying. And the family's like, oh, get me. And they all storm out like they're mad at her, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then Frankie's outside and he watches them and they all leave. And then they all kind of look at him like, fuck you, give him like a fuck you look, like it's his fault.
Yeah.
And so, and then that's how that ends.
Right.
And then he goes back in and her bed sores are like
insane.
So bad that they tell her they're going to have to cut her leg.
Yeah.
So that's the doctor. They have to cut her leg off now
because
her bed sores are just too bad.
Jesus.
So Frankie he leaves that. He comes home and to his house and he opens the door. More return to sender letters on the ground.
Right.
And he just looks so defeated, bro. He's just like, you know what I mean? Just like fucking fuck.
Do I have anything?
What do I have?
Right.
And just so days go by in the hospital, right? And you see that she lost her leg. They're just showing that like they're just passing time,
Mm-hmm.
And she looks up at him and she goes, "They took my leg, boss." And then he's like crying. He's like, "It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right." And he kisses her cheek and she's crying. And then they show more days just going by because they show her leg go by and like you can tell it just like it hit her. Like
yeah, it's done.
They took my leg.
Yeah.
And I didn't even feel like, you know what I mean? Like, so he looks at her and he goes like another day goes by. He goes, "You need anything?" And she goes, "Just to know what Makushla means." And then he looks at her and he just doesn't say anything. And then she kind of smiles like this motherfucker's still not going to tell me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even in this situation, he's still not telling me, which is great. You got to appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so she laughs. He tells her about how then he tells her about how he's looking into getting her a wheelchair. And so she can get to community college. He thinks that maybe that'll be the next step. We'll get her to community college and things like that.
Yeah.
And then she goes, okay. And she goes, "Boss, I need a favor though." He goes, "Anything. What do you need?" And she goes, remember my daddy and Axel? The dog.
Oh, fuck.
And Clint Eastwood, he smiles and he goes, no. He's like, no, don't even think about that. And then she goes, I can't be like this, Frankie. I seen the world. People chanted my name. Well, not my name, some stupid fucking name you gave me.
The best.
Such a good line. Such a good line.
Yeah.
She's like, but they were chanting for me, Frankie. You know, she was like, I was in magazines. She's like, you think I'd ever dream I'd be in magazines? She was like, I was born 2 pounds, 3 ounces. My daddy told me I came in fighting into this world and I'd be fighting on my way out, you know? And she was like, I got what I needed. I got it all. Don't let them take it from me, Frankie. She said, don't let me lay here long enough that I can't hear those cheers anymore. Please. And then he goes, I can't. And he's crying. He's like, I can't. And she's like, please, Frankie.
Jesus.
And he goes, I can't. He's like, you can't ask me. And she's like, I'm asking. And he looks at her and he's just, I can't. And then he leaves.
Jesus.
So the next scene, he gets a call late night, and then he rushes to the hospital, and the voiceover comes in. He goes, Maggie found her own solution. She bit her tongue in the middle of the night. And then he comes in and he's begging her and he's like, stop. Why won't you stop this? And she's like, oh, trying to get all the doctors off her because she's just biting her tongue like that. And they're trying to undo her mouth and shit. You know what I mean? And then they say how she nearly bled to death and her face is just covered in just blood all over. You know what I mean? Just looks awful. Yeah. And then they're telling her how they patted her tongue, but she still did it again anyway. And they had to come in and pat her tongue again. You know what I mean? Like it was just got that bad. So Frankie's talking to his pastor and he's like, I don't know what to do. And he says how he can't do it. And he tells the pastor about like who she is and how great she was. And he's crying and he's like, and now she wants to die. And he's like, and he's like, and the bad part is I want to keep her here with me. He's like, and I swear to God, Father, it's a sin. He's like, it's a sin keeping her alive. I know I'm killing her. And then the pastor tells her, you can't do this. You can't. You have to leave her with God. It's God's decision. And he's like, well, she's not asking for God's help. She's asking for mine.
Good Lord.
You know? And then he's like, well, if you do this, you're going to be lost, Frankie. And he leaves, right?
Yeah.
It shows him back at his gym, and he's getting a needle and a vial. And he's putting it in a case, and then Scrap walks up, and he's like, went to see Maggie this morning. You weren't there. He's like, he looks up at him, and he's like, you weren't there, where were you? And he looks up, Clint Eastwood looks up at Morgan, he's like, it wasn't your fault. He's like, I was wrong to say that. And he goes, damn right you were. Morgan Freeman goes, he's like, damn right you're wrong to say that. He's like, I found you a fighter. He's like, and she was the best fighter she could be. You know, she walked in here with all guts, and she walked in with all guts, and a year later was fighting for the championship of the world, and people's chanting her name. You know? He's like, I think, that's like with what she did the best she could do. And he's like, because you gave her a shot. And if she dies today, I'm pretty sure her last breath and her last thought will be, I think I did all right.
That's very real.
And then Frankie just starts crying. He's like, yeah. And he's rubbing the vial. He's like rubbing the vial. He's like, yeah. Yeah. And he gets up and he leaves. Goes to the hospital. He sits outside for a while. He's just looking at it. He waits till he goes in when he like looks in the hallway. He waits till the room's empty and he goes in.
Oh God.
And he goes and he says, all right. He goes right up to her and he goes, all right. She kind of wakes up. He goes, I'm going to disconnect your breathing tube and you're going to fall asleep. He's like, then I'm going to give you a shot and you're going to stay asleep. She's looking at him and he leans really close to her ear and he goes, Mokushla means my darling, my blood. And he pans back and she's just like crying, smiling. And then he unplugs the monitor. He looks at her. He unplugs her breathing tube. She falls asleep. He gives her the shot. And then the voiceover comes in and he says, he says, he gave her enough adrenaline to do the job 10 times over.
Oh my God.
He didn't want Maggie going through this again. Oh, So he's sitting there looking at her, and then she dies. I know, bro. He gives her, I know, bro. He gives her a kiss.
What the fuck,
He gives her a kiss on the forehead.
Yeah.
You should have seen me this morning. He gives her a kiss on the forehead, and then he walks out, and he just looks back one more time, and then he leaves. And then the voiceover goes, I don't think he had anything left. And then the door closes, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the hospital.
Right.
And then Morgan Freeman goes, I went back to the gym, thinking he would turn up sooner or later. He didn't. And then it comes to the next day and Morgan Freeman's still sitting in the same spot, kind of waiting on him.
Right.
He's like, and that's when a ghost came walking through the door. And he turns around and it's Danger. And Danger goes, I got to thinking, Mr. Scrap, about what you said. And you're right. Anybody can lose one fight. And he goes, that's right, Danger. And he goes, now go get your gloves on. You missed a lot of training. He's like, all right, thanks, Mr. Scrap. And he goes and he runs off. And then Morgan Freeman starts smiling. And he goes, Frankie never came back at all. And it shows him writing. He's writing, right? And he's still the voiceovers. It shows him writing. He goes, he didn't leave a note. Didn't tell anybody where he went. He's like, I hoped he found you. That's why I'm writing you this.
It's to his daughter.
The whole movie has been a letter to his daughter. Bro, I know, nigga. It's so good. It's so good. So good. So he says, I hope he found you and you forgave him. But maybe that's just wishful thinking. But I wrote you this to let you know what kind of father your man really was and what he really did, And then that slow piano music starts playing. And it shows that lemon pie place that they stopped at.
Oh, God.
And you see a shadowy figure inside, and it's him. And he's sitting there eating lemon pie. And it fades out. $1 Million Baby. Greatest movie ever besides Dark Knight, nigga. Probably even Dark Knight. I'm throwing it up there, dog.
Fuck me, dude. I gotta go to work now? What the fuck?
I gotta go to work too.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Also, I love that we did this serious ass movie in our Pauly Shore 50th birthday t-shirt.
Hey, happy
belated birthday, Pauly Shore.
Party. Thank you for letting us party with you on your 50th birthday. Yeah, that's $1 Million Baby, guys.
Good movie. What'd you think, buddy?
Oh my God.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I cried.
Excited to watch it?
No.
Clint Eastwood, you my motherfucking nigga,
it took
man.
an hour and a half to rip off that Band-Aid. That's what that was.
Yo, I was giving you that movie for full, bro. I know this is our long episode, guys, but I love this movie and it deserved it. And I fucking hope you guys, if you haven't seen it, watch it. This is one of the best movies ever. I've never said that about another movie, but watch this one. It's that fucking good, even if you just heard me tell you the whole goddamn movie, nigga. Watch that shit.